and we're back here on Inside the Diamond here on X or YouTube, wherever you're tuning in and watching us from. We appreciate you spending some time with us tonight and talking some ball on this Thursday night. Ethan, it's been a long day. Haven't been live in a couple of days, so we're back talking more prospect stuff today because we talked about the top 100 last time around, and then this time going to be getting more into the top 30 rankings, talking about what stands out to us, what rankings we like, which ones we dislike, who's maybe been good and been under the radar this year. Just a little bit of a top 30 yap sesh from us for the next hour and so on, or however long we go for. But Ethan, man, how have you been doing, and how's the last couple of days been for you?
Been pretty good. I mean, live 2 days ago. We couldn't go live yesterday just for a couple of reasons, but I don't know. I like talking about these lists because, we're going to cover a lot of the top 5 guys in some of these systems. And I mean, Owen Casey goes out today and makes his MLB debut, which was fun to watch. Shout out David Schneider for making an absolute insane catch in left field to rob him for his first MLB hit. That was
I love seeing these prospects come up and then get robbed by an insane defensive play.
Right.
Just the quick welcome to the big leagues moments are always really cool for so that I think it happened to Cags. Someone made an insane diving catch on.
Yeah, it happened to Cags.
It did. Victor Scott ran down a crazy screamer he had for an easy double. But
I want to say Denzel Clark did that to someone this year too, in one of his shortly after he made his MLB debut. But yeah, Denzel Clark did it to a player as well, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I know he robbed Shanuel during that crazy home run robbery he had earlier.
Oh yeah,
but
right.
I think we should just get right into this, man, because we got 30 orgs to go through. We're not going to go through every single prospect. We're not going to make you guys sit through us going over 900 prospects because I don't want to do that, and I don't think you do either, Ethan. So
no.
We're going to go alphabetical here, and we're going to start with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And, I was kind of surprised to see this based on the way Slade Caldwell's been playing and getting guys like Kason Cunningham. Jordan Lawler's still their top prospect, Ethan, and I know you've got some opinions on Jordan Lawler. So I kind of want to let you take the floor for this one to start it off.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Jordan Lawler. I'm just not super high on him. I haven't been high on him in probably the last year and a half. I definitely think the talent is there, but we have to see it at the MLB level because, we talked about last episode, still in a couple stints, no extra base hits at the MLB level. Yeah, I mean, I liked how you mentioned Slade slotting in at number 3. He's been kind of tearing it up ever since just playing professional baseball. And then Tyler Locklear that they got from the Seattle Mariners in the trade with Gino Suarez. He's been hitting some bombs with his new team as well. And same thing Patrick Forbes slotting in at 10. I like. Mm-hmm. Is there any? And then, Drew Jones kind of has slid. There's still upside with him, but he slid down to number 16.
Crazy that he's 16, man.
Yeah, I know.
That
for
is
sure
really crazy. I don't know if and I think the hype from high school has definitely died down a lot with him.
Oh yes,
and I think his health has been a big concern as well. A lot of
yeah. You're right. He did have some injury concerns as well.
But man, he's not exactly last year. He left us with something to be all right, you could come in 2025 and actually prove you're Drew Jones, and he's
right.
just under 700 right now. Yeah. So
defense has looked really good though. I will give him credit on that.
And to be fair, the OBP is still 332, which isn't, great, but it's not terrible either. So high A for a guy who's he is 21, so I expect him to handle high A a little bit better than some other guys do. I mean, dude, I don't know. I mean, even if the bat doesn't play, like you said, the defense is going to, and the speed as well. So we'll see what his future looks like within the Diamondbacks system, but you asked me if I liked any other prospects, man, and honestly, this is one of my favorite systems in the entire NL. I don't necessarily love Jordan Lawler still being their top guy. I will let it slide kind of for the time being because he's been log jammed his entire time in the system.
Right.
He's never going to go up and play above a guy like Cattell or Geraldo Perdomo or in the past Eugenio Suarez. And when Blaze Alexander's hitting the crap out of the baseball.
Oh, dude, Blaze has been on fire in August.
But what are we exactly going to do about Jordan Lawler? So I honestly would have – I thought that the D-backs would have maybe unloaded him at the deadline. But I also did think that with Suarez leaving, it opened up the room for him to actually move up. In comes Blaze Alexander and starts raking the baseball in the month of August. So I love Ryan Waldschmidt at 2. Just a great outfielder from Kentucky that I think is going to – continue to surge through their system. We already mentioned Slade Caldwell, Kason Cunningham, Demetrio Crisantes. I highlighted a while ago. Statistically, now he's hitting 250 with 770 OPS. So, he's all right there. Tommy Troy's another bat I really like. He's OPSing 840. So really solid bat there. Their whole top six I really like, in all honesty. And then you already mentioned Patrick Forbes. I really like Mitch Bratt that they got from the Texas Rangers. That's a really solid left-handed arm there. And then Lou Johns Groover was in the Futures game this year. Really solid bat there in like the middle of their system. So from like the top to the middle, man, really, really solid system. And they've got some dogs at the bottom. Brian Curley, Dean Livingston, some new guys to their system. And then one more that I am going to highlight, just because he is a kind of a local guy for me here, Ethan. Gavin Conticello, I believe, Stoneman Douglas alum down in Parkland, and he was just hitting really well this year. Spent the whole year in Double A, and he's OPSing 786 right now. So it has come back down to earth a little bit, but that's all I got for the D-backs. This is going to be a yap for me. I apologize in advance to you, dude, because this is going to yeah.
This is your specialty, man. No, 100%.
Let's move on to the A's, man. And without their top prospect, this is a system I really like. I don't know if that's something you agree with, but
I fully agree.
Their top prospect at the deadline, and Leo DeVries now moves over from the Padres and is now in the no longer Oakland system, but I guess Sacramento, Vegas, whatever you want to call it. He's in the A's system now. So, Ethan, man, Leo DeVries, for the people who don't know him, what are you getting out of a guy like him?
I mean, the plate discipline for his age at 18 is remarkable. Hits from both sides. I think Leo DeVries is going to be an absolute beast, but at the same time, he hasn't been as good as we saw at the beginning of the season. But I mean, that's obviously going to come. He's still 18 years old, playing in high A, which a lot of 18-year-olds really aren't doing. Some of them are still in the complex league or the DSL. Jamie Arnold, other than the trade, Jamie Arnold was going to be their number one guy. And we already know what he's going to do. He's just probably going to jump through all these levels and make his major league debut within probably a year and a half at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Gage jumped too. A lot of people had him as an underrated pitching prospect coming into this year. He's just one of the best pitching prospects in baseball right now. He's not really underrated anymore. Colby Thomas, we've already kind of seen what he's done at the MLB level too. And we saw the AAA numbers as well. Braden Nett, I absolutely love. If you want to go look at videos of him absolutely owning Sebastian Walcott, I think it's like 10 or 12 ABs. He struck him out like 6 or 7 times. I liked the overall trade that they got in the package for Mason Miller. Granted, you already know what you're getting with Mason Miller, but some of the prospect upside that they got was fantastic.
Really good.
And even like Nunez too at 18, like I know he was unbelievable in the Padres system too, just pure wipeout stuff. They have plenty of guys in AA and AAA that are throwing 100, which is crazy to say. But yeah, in terms of, I mean, just their overall system, there's a lot of high upside players that I like, but definitely those like 6 or 7 names definitely stand out to me.
Yeah, I mean, this system is ridiculously deep after the trade deadline, and the Mason Miller package really brought them in a lot of key players. Like we already said, Leo DeVries. Then you go down the line here, and you mentioned a lot of great names already. The 8 and 9 prospects in Devin Taylor and Tommy White, two previous college bats that I absolutely love. Devin Taylor started out really, really good. In his first 8 games, he's got a 949 OPS, and he already has 2 homers. So
he'll take that any day.
He is one of those college bats that is going to destroy low A. He could handle double A. I really think that. Like, I would love to see Devin Taylor get some reps up there in double A. Get up there with Tommy White right now. But a lot of people remember Tommy White from LSU, so I just love mentioning him because he still is out there playing pro ball, and he's not too bad either. You actually brought to my attention Gavin Turley before the show. Really good draft pick there. Moving down the line, Wei-In Lin was an arm that was on a lot of people's radar. Earlier in the season, he has a 3.88 ERA right now, up in high A. And then the last guy I wanted to talk about was their 29th prospect, Zane Taylor, a pitcher out of UNCW who had a really good control, Ethan. And I want you to pull up his profile real quick because this might be one of the better number 29 prospects on any top 30. The pitch mix alone is ridiculous as a righty to have 4 pitches, at least average or above. He has a plus changeup, 60 grade fastball, and then he has 55 grade control as well. So that's what you really like from a guy like Zane Taylor, one of the best arms in terms of control last year in the NCAA. I really, really want to see how that translates into pro ball, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, leading in K to walk ratio, whip, and then also second in walk rate, you'll take that any day of the
week. He might have been the best in terms of just control, honestly.
Like, oh, yeah.
Like I did those walk per nine graphics on for like college baseball every single week, and he was always in the top five. It seemed like I just couldn't get him out of there.
Yeah, I mean, electric stuff, and the fact that you have that location, you can mix your pitches in any count and just place them wherever you want to is an insane ability already for him. So
Yeah,
I like that shout out too.
yeah, no, for sure. And we're gonna keep it moving now to the Braves, but two very deep orgs to talk about right off the jump. And unfortunately, I don't know if I could say the same thing for the Braves here as we come around to our third org. I love their top prospect a lot. Cam Caminiti is such a glitchy arm, I feel like.
So good.
And I mean, what is he at this season? I know he was killing it in low A, but he's got through two levels. He has a 3.57 ERA, has pitched 53 innings. Dude, I mean, like he hasn't been posting ridiculous numbers, but hitters are hitting 240 against him. Like as a
And
19.
I saw him a little bit in FCL. In A ball, 39 in the third innings, 55 Ks, 219 batting average against, 2.29 ERA.
Yeah.
Caminiti's mix is absolutely gross. And the velo was starting to jump back up a little bit too. I mean, the Braves have a solid arm with Cam Caminiti.
Yeah, I mean 3+ pitches.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. The off speed is the breaking stuff is diabolical.
You think an ETA at 2028 is a valid one there? He is only 19.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I could see probably 2027 to be completely honest. I think if he really starts the velo's consistent, it jumps back up. He improves some of his offerings that are already elite, maybe even adds in another pitch. I could definitely see a 2027 ETA for him.
If he can get up to Double A next year, I'd expect 2027.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then we keep moving it down the line here. Tate Southzine. I'm interested to see what they get out of him, considering he brings a lot of defensive versatility in. But their first round draft pick from this year slots in at their number 3 prospect. I love their number 4 overall prospect, Alex Lodies from Florida State. One of the best bats in college baseball last year, believe a finalist for the Golden Spikes. Started out pretty good and is hitting 188 right now in his first 8 games. So it is his first taste of high A ball. Making the jump straight from college to high A is not very easy. So I'm not going to judge really an 8-game sample size, Ethan. I think that's pretty fair. But then Herson Waldrop at 7, Didier Fuentes at 9, Drew Hackenberg at 12. I mean, these are really a lot of the guys that stand out to me, Ethan. I mean, I'm grasping at straws with the Braves, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's tough with the Braves. I will say J.R. Ritchie's been, pretty solid development. The fact that he was at high A, he went to Double A, and I just think recently just got promoted to Triple A maybe a month ago. That's a solid development. I've heard a lot of hype about Nacho Alvarez Jr. I don't really know how much is going to continuously to play into that. And I know Didier Fuentes' fastball shape and stuff was like similar to Brian Wu, but he's gone absolutely hammered at the MLB level this year. So.
Isn't he like 20?
Yeah, he's only 20 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, this stuff this stuff will be there for him. It's just about commanding it and finding it at the MLB level, because the jump from AAA to the majors is massive for both position players and pitchers. But yeah,
for pitchers, it's got to be though. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean, the difference between a AAA hitter and an MLB hitter is huge. I mean, it's one of the biggest differences in all professional sports. But yeah, I mean, Caminiti at 1, like I can't say enough about him. He is just simply disgusting, and he's still only 19 years old.
Yeah, even Ian Mejia, their 21st ranked prospect, he's been really good this year. 2.60 ERA across 2 levels in 14 starts, 20 appearances. Very solid there. Hayden Harris was a guy that they had in the futures game, and I can very much see why here. Is he has 34 appearances, Ethan, and a .66 ERA.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at that. Oh my gosh.
130 batting average against. His whip is almost below .8.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. I mean, his career numbers in the minors right now is a 3.30 ERA, 15 wins, 8 losses, batting average against of 209. So, you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, so, I mean, for what we said was, kind of a very weak system, there are some guys at the back end of that top 30 that I really do like. So
I feel like we talked pretty solid about the Braves, considering how bad of, I guess, coverage they get in terms of the public eye. So I think we did a good job covering that.
I completely agree. But a team that got just a massive boost from this 2025 MLB draft was the Baltimore Orioles. So we get to talk about them now. Because, Ethan, Samuel Basayo obviously is going to remain their number one prospect. That I don't even think we have to get into a guy like Samuel
No,
Basayo because he's been so
save it for another day.
unbelievable. Save it for another day. Ike Irish slides in at number 2. I love that. He's wasted no time in Delmarva. 2 games, 333 average. Uh, him at 2 over a guy like Dylan Beavers, who has been raking lately. They've got to feel really good about Ike Irish. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about Irish or all the other draft picks that they added into this top 30, but to be above a guy like Dylan Beavers, I think you got to be doing something right.
I mean, I think one of our consensus like underrated prospects in the first round was Slater DeBrun. I mean, the dude has tools all across the board. I mean, very similar to a guy like Corbin Carroll, and it's a couple other guys in the Arizona farm system. But Aloy, fantastic pick. I mean, we covered it too. Like the Orioles probably had a top 3 draft, arguably the best draft in this past year. Beavers has been really good with swing adjustments, and then you have Enrique Bradfield Jr., who has immense speed as their 4th ranked prospect, and then Nate George. Nate George has been solid at pretty much every level. We've seen him in the FCL a couple times too, but just a very well-rounded top of the system. But as you get a little bit near the bottom, it's not as well-rounded. But in terms of like those top, 10 to 15 guys, it's pretty solid.
Absolutely. I mean, other than their like top 15 guys, there's not a ton of. I mean, actually, there is a good amount of guys in here that I do like.
You have Keenan Bonan at 10. I mean, that's
Honeycutt at 18, man.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a deep.
This is a top to bottom, very good top 30. Colin Yeeman too at 17, a great shortstop out of UC Irvine last year. Joseph Giroux from Michigan State, one of the best arms in the Big Ten as well. Braxton Bragg's been a name I've been hearing so much stuff about the last few years. This year he's kind of been forcing his name into my eyesight. 1.68 ERA in 12 games. Jeez, 12 games, 11 starts. He has a 1.68 ERA, 1.95 batting average against, 1.0 WHIP. That's their 15th prospect.
Yeah, not bad.
And then
I mean, you look at like the top 8 and you're like, wow, like that's really solid. And then there's a few names that you might not know as well. And then you go back and you see Honeycutt, you see Trey Gibson. Like there's guys that just certainly stand out as you even go down the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I really, really like this top 30. A lot of like good pitchers and infielder, outfielder combos. It's I mean, dude, just top to bottom, very like deep top 30 position wise too. So
Orioles always have a good system, and drafting over the last couple of years, they have been fantastic.
Fantastic. Moving on here, still staying in the AL East with the Boston Red Sox, who we talked about this a little bit on, what was that, Tuesday. Franklin Arias. He is now their top prospect here. After him, Peyton Toll, the password, Kyson Witherspoon. No surprises there. I mean, that's an amazing top 4. Brandon Clark, Connolly Early, who's been honestly really good all year, dude. A 2.46 ERA and 80.1 innings pitched. He has a 200 batting average against. The whip a little higher than we're used to with some of these guys we're talking about, but still 1.15, not awful. I really, really love their top 6 prospects. And then Mikey Romero, solid prospect as well. Marcus Phillips, back-to-back with Anthony Ianson there at 12 and 13. Part of their really solid class of arms that they got there. Henry Godbout at 19. Did Jojo Ingracia fall out of their top 30, or did I just scroll over him? Because that was a guy that one of their pitchers I had. He's out of their top 30 now. So actually, I'm gonna go see how he's doing. But Ethan, I know I kind of went through. I mean, most of that top 30. I mean, who do you like the most here? I guess besides maybe the obvious guys like Arias and the password, because we've talked about them a couple I mean, times.
Brandon Clark gets up to 100 from the left-hand side. He's absolutely diabolical. I've seen Connolly Early in the spring breakout game and a couple other games this year as well. This stuff is just gross. He's already in AAA. You'll probably see him next year at the MLB level. The stuff certainly stands out. Same thing with the password. I know we talked about it last episode. It's almost every single week he's getting highlighted for the production that he continues to do. I know that outfield is so log jammed at this point. Where is he going to stand next season? But if he keeps producing like this, he's certainly going to solidify himself into a role. Peyton Toll has been one of the highest rising pitching prospects, I feel like, this year, very similar to a guy like Garrett Crochet in terms of the delivery and some of the stuff that he possesses. And then the fact that you have Anthony Ianson at number 13, which was one of our favorite picks in the draft, that just speaks to how deep that system is.
Yeah, 13 is ridiculous. Like, he'd be top 10 any other farm, I feel like.
I mean, you have every pitch above a 50. You have a 55 curve, and the slider is approaching 70, and he's your number 13. Yeah, it's a very, very good system.
Solid future there in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shout out Cutter is king. Cubs. Ethan, I'm going to let you take the reins on this because if you guys haven't checked on OPS Baseball, it's a pretty damn good thread on their top prospect, Owen Casey, and what he's been doing this year for the Cubs. Thought he'd be moved at the deadline, and he is staying in Wrigleyville and made his debut. Ethan, what can people expect out of their top prospect?
Yeah, I mean, Owen Casey absolutely hammers every single fastball type, especially singers and cutters. The only concern I have for him is on breaking balls. There are some whiff rates that are over 40, 50%. But in terms of the quality of contact he makes, it is incredible. A couple of stance changes that he's made from 2023 to 2025. But just the overall power package is just simply one of the best that we saw in AAA. And I mean, he wasted no time today. First pitch fastball off Max Scherzer, he got robbed for a hit. Probably would have been a double or triple if it got by him. But in terms of their overall system, I mean, yeah, Ballesteros at 2, Jackson Wiggins at 4. Kevin Alcantara was talked about so much last year. I thought he was going to be moved this deadline instead of a guy like Owen Casey. They still kept him in the system. Jonathan Long, too, has been talked about heavily. He's been unbelievable in AAA. 913 OPS, 17 bombs, 74 RBIs. K rate's kind of a little concerning, but he's been getting a lot of steam. But there's just a lot of guys in the system that really stand out to me. And I mean, it's certainly headlined by, Ballesteros, Casey, Jackson Wiggins, Kevin Alcantara, and a guy like Ethan Conrad, too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Ethan Conrad pick. I thought that was great value that they got him at there. James Triantos at 10 is a guy that I feel like because of how many good AAA bats that they have, they forget about a guy like Triantos. And he hasn't even been, for all, lack of a better term, good. Like, he hasn't been that good. He's OPSing under 700. And then you move down the line here. Caden Kepley, another draft pick this year that I would watch out for very closely. Moving down the line more. Cade Snell, another draft pick there at number 20. He did start out really good, I believe, and now has played 7 games. He's kind of leveled out a bit. He's spending some time with South Bend in high A and then moving down more. Jack Neely moved over from the Yankees last year, I believe that was in the yep. Was that the Cody Bellinger trade? I believe that was the Cody Bellinger trade. No,
because Cody Bellinger was just for one player. That was
Cody Poteet. So who was I'm not going to move on until I remember this. Who did the Cubs trade to the Yankees last year? Was it Mark Leiter Jr.?
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we gave up Jack Neely for Mark Leiter. And, I'm not necessarily too unhappy that we did that considering he has a 6.91 ERA now in AAA this year. But I don't think he's gotten a large enough sample size. So I didn't even check that, honestly. We talked about Tate Saldazine with the Braves. His older brother is in the Cubs system, and he's in their top 30 as well at 28. And, that's really the extent of what we have here for this Cubs top 30. One that is still really deep because they somehow were not able to move these guys that are near MLB ready or MLB ready. So let's move down to the south side of Chicago here and move to the Chicago White Sox. This might be one of the better ones we go over the entire time.
I think so.
Because this is a doozy. This is a doozy of a farm system to go over. Braden Montgomery, we've talked about him a good amount, I feel like. If not on Inside the Diamond, I've certainly talked about Braden Montgomery a lot over the past year. I really was excited for his future in Fenway, and then that got cut short in the Garrett Crochet deal. In Double-A right now, I mean, he's a switch-hitting outfielder, one of the best bats in college last year, 805 OPS this year. I mean, this is a future outfielder for your franchise. Future center fielder, probably. Noah Schultz, Ethan? No, you're a big Noah Schultz guy.
I mean, yeah, both of us love Noah Schultz. Dad is a huge supporter of us as well, which we appreciate.
Shout out Mr. Schultz.
And yeah, the fact that they're working with Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz on just developing arsenals and pitch locations because everyone was like, oh, Noah Schultz isn't doing as good. Yeah, it's because he was dominating so much. They wanted to see what they could work on with him because he was doing so good. And, I mean, we talked about it the other day. Colson Montgomery is your number 3, and he just had a stretch of a few days ago, 10 bombs in 18 games, and has been fantastic since the swing adjustment that he made in the complex league. I mean, Billy Carlson too, probably the best glove in the high school class in terms of draft. The bat's very projectable. It's more of like line drive contact right now, but he's a very projectable athlete. You have Hagen Smith at number 6. You have Jaden Foscue at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
The system continues over the last couple of years to get better. And I can't believe we're saying this in 2025. And I'm so happy that we're saying this. The Chicago White Sox have a bright future outlook, and a lot of it has to do with guys in the farm system.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a White Sox fan, you got to love that. If I was a White Sox fan, I'd be tuning into all of these games, man. But I mean, looking kind of just double checking over the rest of the system, Caleb Bonemer has been really good as of late. Now his OPS up to 838 on the year. Kyle Lodice, also a T. Schulman Report supporter, so just want to give him a shout out there. Brother of Alex Lodice, and he's not having the greatest start to his pro career, but he also got assigned to high A straight out of college, so I would take that with a grain of salt. If I don't think anybody really cares too much about 7 game sample sizes or whatever. Sam Antonacci, I've heard a lot about this year. He's hitting 390 games. Another prospect to watch for the White Sox, has second base and third base versatility. Gage Gil was a guy that I believe was dealt by the Yankees in the Austin Slater trade. Hasn't been doing crazy good this year, but he eats a ton of innings, so that's another bonus. And then I feel like people forget about a guy like Jacob Gonzalez, who was a first rounder just like a couple years ago. And he's there at number 17. Ethan, man, you said it. A lot to like about this team, and it's all because of the guys in the farm system.
Yeah, I mean, just what we've seen even this year with some of the graduates that they've had. I mean, Kyle Teal has graduated. There's been a couple of guys that have just produced at the MLB level already.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that have already graduated too.
Tim Elko too has been really good this year. I know he's kind of like a quad A bat at this point too.
I know, but like, I mean, dude, his numbers in AAA are insane. Are so good if you go and look at them.
Yeah, so
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys producing that aren't even on the top 30, but I don't know. I like what the White Sox are trying to do because hopefully in the next like 2 or 3 years, there's a winning ball club. I mean, the rotation when you have Noah Schultz, you have Hagen Smith, you have Drew Thorpe, who's going to come back off of injury. There's a lot of things to like. I mean, even Mr. Smith this year, who's been fantastic since throwing his changeup more. There's a lot to like about the White Sox, and there's a lot to like about the future outlook of that starting rotation too.
A lot of those guys too that are on the team currently. I mean, like, I'm sure they would play better if the team just started winning. Like, if you get these young guys in and you start putting something together here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a future outlook for Luis Robert too. That was a guy a lot of people had moving. Credit to your point, you didn't have him moving. But that is a piece that the White Sox are going to keep. He's almost a veteran now on the team. And for a lot of those young guys coming up, that's going to be the guy that they look up to because, granted, the numbers haven't been good the last 200 games, but the last like 40 have been really good. Yeah. So I'm glad that they kept him.
Man, we're going to stay in the Midwest for this next farm system. And the top 10 are ridiculous. The Cincinnati Reds, they're loaded. They've been loaded, and they continue to lock and load for the future, and that's what they have done here after this 2025 draft. They've added a bunch of guys into their top 30 here. Sal Stewart, we've talked about him so much for the last couple of days. I've angered Reds fans to the point where I not me angering them. The front office has angered Reds fans to the point where I don't think they want to talk about Sal Stewart anymore. We haven't really talked about Rhett Lauder on the show at all. But for a guy who in 30 innings pitched in the big league level last year had an ERA south of 1.2, I am never not going to be high on this dude. I don't care that he has a 12.27 ERA this year. Like, I mean, you know what you're getting out of Rhett Lauder. This dude's nasty.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a big strikeout mix, but it's definitely pitch to contact, a lot of just like soft ground ball contact, limiting EVs. The arsenal is really good for that. And Jake, Mead and like his first couple games I think had multi-hit games. So that's also a guy that's not a top prospect anymore. That the White Sox, that could be a future piece of the build. Alfredo Duno, I had screenshots of this guy when I was in high school watching his swing. He is so good. Just in terms of the raw power output, I cannot wait until we see some AAA numbers from him because they are going to be incredible.
I can't wait to see that max EV number.
Dude, the power output with him is insane. Huge physical frame, 6'2", 210, which I think is probably an understatement at this point. I think it's probably a little bit taller. He's probably weighing a little bit more too. The raw power output from that frame is incredible. Tyson Lewis too. I know that was one of their like high draft picks. Steele Hall too. And you have Cam Collier at number 6. I mean, you could go for hours about how good Cam Collier is and what we think of him. And you have a guy like Chase Petty at 7. Chase Petty was one of the most hyped up pitching prospects over the last couple of years. I understand the sample was not good at the MLB level, but this is a guy that has a great mix to work with. He's still only 22 years old. But if you just go and look at even like the bottom half of the system, there's a lot of just high upside young prospects. A lot of the other systems we were looking at, there was a lot of guys that were like 24 to 26 years old.
Yeah.
Other than, I mean, a few, it's a lot of guys that are just high upside FCL or not FCL, just rookie ball guys, high A guys that are in their 19 to 21-year-old seasons, which is good. It's definitely a younger system than a lot of the ones that we've covered.
Oh, for sure. Now, they do have a lot of guys in the upper levels too, but those guys are in their own respect, very young. Hector Rodriguez, shout out Lewis, because he highlighted him, I believe, yesterday.
Yep.
Either yesterday or the day before, but one of the best advanced profiles across the entire minor leagues. This dude rakes. He's hitting 303 across 2 teams this year with an 846 OPS. And in terms of the power output, he has 15 homers, 21 doubles, and 3 triples. I think this dude's going to be a menace at the big league level. Like a menace. And I like one that like really did not come on other people's radars too much. Shout out the Mets for gifting the NL Central with some really good outfield prospects because they continue to do that. They signed this dude back in 2021, didn't want him anymore. Look what he's doing for the Reds. Or
I mean, it's you can go and look at his profile. It's every single level he has played at. He has been insane. And yeah, the profile is elite. The K rate's not concerning. He can steal some bags too. This is a guy that you definitely want to be watching out for in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like their system's full of just these really toolsy prospects and these bats with just insane power in them. Like we've talked about Cam Collier, we talked about Sal Stewart, Hector Rodriguez. You move down to the 13th guy, Mason Neville, their I believe 4th round pick out of Oregon this past draft. Dude, he was the home run leader in the NCAA. He rakes. And I don't think he already has his first pro homer, but he tripled last night.
He's got no OPS north of 1,000. So
he's got 2 triples and yeah, like you said, an OPS that's up there near 1,100 right now. So he's had a great start to his career in low A there. Another hitter that I think will destroy that level and should probably get a promotion here pretty soon. But I love that he's just there in the middle of their top 30. Their bottom half is not as eye opening to me.
No, I think it's in terms of that, it's probably the least upside just because it's a lot of pitching. A lot of the other ones, it was granted it was older players, position players, but their bottom, I think like 7 are all pitching prospects. And they're still, like we highlighted earlier, anywhere from 20 to 23 years old, still in A-ball or in Connor Phillips' case in AAA.
Yeah, one of the more top-heavy farm systems I think we've covered in a while. But let's move on. We're staying in the Midwest. We're staying in Ohio. We've got Cleveland now. This system's interesting, man, because there are a lot of guys here from top to bottom that I really like. I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to start from the bottom here, Ethan, and I'm going to let you go for the top guys here on this one. At least like the top 4 guys, because I feel like those are the most notable ones. Daniel Espino is still on this top 30. He's at number 30, and I want nothing more but to see this guy put together a healthy season. I don't know if that's possible anymore, but he hasn't pitched since 2022.
Dude, I'm looking at his 2021 numbers. 91 innings, 152 strikeouts. is insane.
He has an 80
That
grade
is
fastball.
insane. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I hope this is a guy that can stay healthy because I mean, he hasn't pitched since 2022.
This dude hasn't pitched
And
in
it
3
was 4
years.
games by the way too.
This dude hasn't pitched in 3 years. He still has some of the best stuff in the minor leagues. 80 grade fastball, 55 curve, 70 grade slider.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see what his I mean, we could probably look at his metrics after this if he's started recently, but
I don't
I
think
mean,
he
yeah,
has.
this is one of the only guys that will review. I mean, granted, it might not be as an 80 grade fastball as it probably has right now. This is probably one of the only guys that will cover that has an 80 grade fastball, or even a fastball that he's even close to a 70
I'm
grade.
I'm pretty sure that I could go through every one of the 900 prospects on here. I don't think a single one has an 80 grade
No,
fastball.
I don't think so. Nope.
That like just seeing the number 80 on MLB pipeline is kind of insane. The amount that it's given out, like that explains why this guy is still on this top 30. You would not
Right.
see a guy who hasn't played in 3 years in any top 30 ever. And this isn't like a
Right.
bad top 30 either because I have, honestly a decent amount of guys that I do want to like get a little into here. Nolan Schubert for one at number 28. This guy was almost a consensus first round pick at the beginning of the college season. Obviously fell to the third. Cleveland snagged him at the 101st pick. He gives them 60 grade power. Now, he was graded at 70 grade power at one point, so I'm going to say that's his ceiling because I've seen this dude hit like near 500-foot bombs. But one of the best bats out of Oklahoma State, so I want to make sure that I shout out them. And then as we keep moving, Aaron Walton, another guy who played 2 years at Stanford and then transferred over to Arizona. Really solid pick there that they got out of the the CB, what was it, CB competitive. I don't know. It was a 66 pick, wherever that fell at. He's solid there. Cleo Watson, you remember that name?
I do remember that name.
He's still dancing around here on the top 30. He's number 19. Jacob Cozart is a really solid catching prospect as well. He's there at 18. So there are a lot of guys that I really like here in the back end of their top 30. Parker Messick, a really solid left-hander that I would advise you, Ethan, to maybe start watching a little bit more. He's fallen under a lot of people's radars this year, and he was in the futures game, 3.30 ERA. Dean Curley, really solid. Ralphie Velasquez, really solid. Braylon Doty, really solid. Chase Laviolette, really solid. Ethan, man, what else? I mean, because their top end is really good too.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Jackson Churio's brother, which granted he hasn't been the best, but a lot of people were saying that he was going to be better than Jackson in terms of the frame and some of the. I still think so too. I mean, the frame is, I think, better. I think it's around the same as Jackson, but in terms of the power output, a lot of people said that it was going to be a little bit better, which is crazy. The guy that they got from the Blue Jays in the Shane Bieber trade, some of the most nasty stuff that you will find across all of MILB. The stuff is great. I think even on like TJ's model, there's a few pitches over like 115, which is crazy. I know a lot of Blue Jays fans were not happy with that. Hopefully Shane Bieber is a guy that stays there for a couple of years because you give away one of the top 22-year-old pitching prospects. That might, in a few years, especially with Cleveland's pitching development, them, the Brewers, and the Rays are arguably the best three. That's going to be a guy that you're going to want to watch. Chase DeLauder, we mentioned last time on the show. The ranking is still really high, and it is because from what we have seen from him, the raw power output is fucking incredible. He just cannot stay healthy. He'll play an insane 20 to 25 games, and he'll immediately get hurt. And I feel like every time he gets injured, it's something different, which is just, it sucks to see. Yeah. I mean, even in the 34 games that we saw, he was hitting 278, a good walk rate. I mean, his OBP was approaching 400 with 5 bombs and 22 walks. And then Travis Bazzana, I think one of your personal favorite prospects, a guy that we expected to actually be a little bit higher on the latest update in the top 100. When he gets going, it's going to be special to watch. This is going to be a guy that probably next year will be making his major league debut, and it's just one of the highest upside bats in the minors. The system is definitely very deep, and I think to your credit that you'll agree, there's a lot of underrated guys in this system that not a lot of people are talking about. And if you kind of go around that 20 to 30 range, I mean, even some of the guys, even in the mid range and kind of, with Parker, with Dean Curley. There's a lot of guys that you can go through and even just stat line scout and see the seasons that they're putting together. And then when you go look at video at some of the tools that they have, this is a system with a lot of high upside prospects.
Yeah, very underrated one at that. I think they have a really solid future ahead of them. Speaking of solid futures, I hope that's what the Rockies have with their system, man, because they recently just got a new top prospect in Ethan Holiday, who's kind of wasted no time in his first game. I thought he would get a little bit of time in the complex. They sent him straight up to low A in Fresno, and I mean, he had 2 hits. He had 2 hits last night in his debut. So great stuff.
Single and a double.
Yeah, I mean, wasting no time. We're going to see a very similar track to his brother Jackson, but Charlie Condon at 2, Brody Brecht, a notable name there at 5, great arm out of Iowa from last year's draft. JB Middleton, shout out Overdue Sports. He was one of his favorite arms in the 2025 draft. Max Ballou, I posted about him today. Believe I don't know how many hits he had. Actually, let me scroll up and see it because I'm right on Twitter right now. He went 2 for 3 last night, so he's starting to put some stuff together here early on in his career. Griffin Herring from the Yankees, Yanquiel Fernandez. I feel like that's just a name we always hear about.
Took him a while to get his first MLB home run, but it was spanked. It was crushed.
It was. And a bat I love seeing in the majors now is Kyle Karos. He absolutely raked in the minor leagues. 6 games, he's OPSing 893 with the Rockies, so I love seeing that. A bat that hasn't really been able to find it at the big league levels, Ryan Ritter, but he's a AAA demon, so hopefully he can find it soon. And then Rock Riggio, he was a guy who was traded over from the Yankees. I think his power is going to be a real fun complement to Coors, so I can't wait for him to get up and be playing second base for the Rockies there. But Ethan, want to let you talk a little bit about Zach Veen and maybe the rest of the Rockies system that you like before we move it on here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how I feel about Zach Veen, just the struggles that we've seen. The only other guy I'll kind of mention is Carson Palmquist because I used to face him a little bit in high school. That'll be probably the only guy I kind of touch on. The system is definitely weak, but in terms of, the top 2 alone, like that top 2 is going to be Ethan Holiday right now at his peak is probably going to be a 35-plus home run bat. And then Charlie Condon, too, Golden Spikes Award winner that we talked about 2 days ago. And he's been really hot as of late. Those top 2 alone, if you really look at it, that's kind of what you're looking at with this system.
Yeah. And if you're only looking at 2 guys, really good pairing to look at because, dude, they just got it. They got it. That's all I'm going to say on that. They have it. But let's keep it going here. Moving down. Bottom line, though, I really like the Rockies system. Even though, there are not a lot of notable names besides the guys like Condon and Ethan Holiday. You look at the stat lines for a lot of these guys, and they're having great years. So I'd go look more into the Rockies system if you're a viewer and you don't know too many names there. Now we're going to get into a system where we probably know a good amount of names here. The Detroit Tigers.
Oh, my God.
Another fun one to look at here. They're 1-2 and 3-4 are ridiculous. Kevin McGonigal, as Ethan pointed out earlier today, best pure hitter in the minor leagues. Me and him could get into a debate about that probably for a long time, but
I think we could
for another day. Him and Max Clark take the 1-2 slot, and then Josue Briseño there at number 3, Bryce Rayner at 4. Ethan, man, what do you like about these guys? Because I know you talk my ear off about him, and I let you because it's awesome. Because this
Dude,
top 4 is amazing.
I don't even think this is a hot take. Kevin McGonigal might be the best prospect the Tigers have ever had. And it's not even a hyperbole. If you go and look at the 25 games that he posted, and you look at Riley Green, and you look at Spencer Torkelson, and you look at some of the other guys that have came up, he has barely above a 10% K clip right now since his promotion. He's hammering everything. We touched about Max Clark. MLB goes with the high upside, and they look at stats, and they mix them. Max Clark, in terms of upside, is probably a top 5 prospect if you want to look at it. And especially if you've seen the improvements on off-speed and breaking balls this year, this is a guy that could probably be even better next year. Briseño, on some rankings, is already a top 10 prospect. We agreed last night that he should probably be higher. I don't know, what was it, 32? Or it was around that range where it was he should have been higher, even though he was the highest rising prospect. Chris Rodriguez, if you haven't looked at video of Chris Rodriguez swinging a baseball bat, granted, this kid is only 17 years old. I think it was the highest international signing bonus by a Tigers player ever. The swing comp is it's literally Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then you could go look at the swing. If you want to go and look at the numbers, 47 games, he's hitting 315 with 9 bombs. He struck out only 30 at what 17 at 17 years old. He has 39 Ks in 47 games. Chris Rodriguez is going to be an absolute beast. This is a guy in a few years that you're going to come back and be like, wow, like this guy was just really, really good. Yost, I know, was one of the guys that was he a first round guy or was he in one of the?
He was their first
later
rounder.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he's their number 9 guy. There's so many guys, even Ty Madden, like this is MLB experience there. The top 10 alone, I think this is probably the best top 10 that we'll talk about, other than like maybe the Dodgers or a team like that. But in terms of like the top 4, McGonigal, Clark, Briseño, and Bryce Rayner, I mean, that is insane. That's literally the future of your team with your top 4 prospects, all playing different positions. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some really good top prospects as of late, obviously with Tarek Skubal, Nick Castellanos. So to hear that praise from Kevin McGonigal,
I'm telling you, Kevin McGonigal, in terms of position players, Kevin McGonigal might be the best hitting prospect they have ever seen. I don't even think it's hyperbole. He is crazy good. He's lowered his K rate since I could go on and on about McGonigal. He's insane.
At least in the last 15 years, I would certainly agree with that. I mean, I literally, when you were talking more about their system, I went more into some of the guys that they had at the top end of the system the last like 15 years. And it's pretty much just Castellanos bat wise. And arm wise, it's like Skubal, Jackson Jobe. Yeah. So some decent comp there, but
yeah.
But Thayron Lorenzo, another name that I would at least, keep tabs on. Switched over from the Dodgers system last year. Hao-Yu Lee, another name in AAA that has been making rounds lately. Max Anderson, Malachi Witherspoon. Who else? Nick Dumasnil as well, a bat that I love that I originally had mocked in the first round going to the Tigers, and I believe they got him in like the 9th. So check swing. I didn't go on that one, I guess is the verdict. But really, really good top to bottom system, and they're bats that have really come up and have just, outperformed what their expectations were. I love the fact that we got to get into Chris Rodriguez, though. Dude, I'd love to see a little thread out of you about this kid.
Dude, once there's any sort of data, Chris Rodriguez is one of my favorite prospects in baseball.
It's tough because DSL plays like every single day. And they play at like 8 in the morning too, so I can't even get up early enough to like put something out before like stats get changed.
The fact that he has that K rate at 17 and the build is like, I mean, he's 6'3", 203. He's going to add to the frame. He's 17. Like, you've gone through high school, you've gone through college stuff. People can sprout 3 to 4 inches in a year. Chris Rodriguez is 17 at 6'3".
I'd love to be one of those people, but
yeah, dude, I could talk about Chris Rodriguez for hours.
Dude, 21 extra base hits in 47 games.
Bro, it's ridiculous. And even like Lee in his own right, there are a couple evaluators in systems where he's one of the top guys in terms of MLB ready. I know the stat line isn't there right now, but he's a guy that you really want to look for.
Do we have like a comp for him? Yeah, Eloy Jimenez and Aaron Judge.
Yeah, dude, he's going to be special. This is, I mean, if you're watching right now and you have not seen any footage on Chris Rodriguez or you've heard about his backstory, or please go look into him because he is going to be insane.
My God, dude, like this kid is like golden child.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's literally A-Rod. I mean, it's like Julio Rodriguez. Like it's, oh my God, it's insane.
Like how many kids out of the DR are getting $4 million almost?
No, I think it was one of the highest ones in Tigers history.
Hey, on that note, man, let's switch it over to a team that doesn't really need their farm system too much to be successful at the top level, and that's the Houston Astros, because they somehow they grow talent when they need, and then they'll use them for a decade and a half, and the guys that are in the farm at that point, sucks to be you, but Their system, man, it's interesting, especially after the draft. Bryce Matthews, we saw him come up, and he looked really good for a little bit. Came back down to earth quite a bit in
Be
the
back down to
last,
earth.
way back down to earth. I think those first like 3 games he had, he was like unbelievable. And
Yeah,
then
he had a multi-homer game in Arizona, I think, too.
yeah, and then he went. I mean, dude, he just like. Oh, I'm looking at some of his games from AAA. Never mind. I don't want to go that deep. Never mind. Uh, I'm not going over the last 30 games. Matthews is still solid. I was very confused to see him brought up when he was brought up. Now I'm forgetting. Was there an injury that he had to get called up for? Was that when
Other
Pena got
than
hurt?
Paredes or Pena, yeah, something like
Yeah, I
that.
think it might have been when Pena was hurt. But regardless, he's looked good at one point in time in the bigs, so I'm excited to see what he does after. Jacob Melton, man, I don't know how to feel about this guy.
Yeah,
Because I was ready for him to make the majors for like a couple years, and he's OPSing 506. I don't know how much there is really there. Xavier Neans, I thought was going to overtake their top prospect in the system.
I'd put him as the top prospect in the system.
This dude,
I think without a doubt, this will be one of the best draft picks in the first round.
this dude
Like
has
no question.
elite tools. 65 power, 60 arm there. He's listed as a shortstop. I thought he was listed as a third baseman back in the draft. Can tell you he's not going to play short for the Astros. I imagine that Jeremy Pena will be there long term. But hot corner, man. That's all. Probably all going to be Neans. But as we move our way down the rest of the system, Walker Janek, I haven't checked in on him in a while. He actually is not doing terrible, but his OPS is still just south of 800. Joseph Sullivan was doing really good for a long time. Still is doing very solid. His OPS is there at 826. However, when he got promoted to Double A, 18 games not going so hot. 182 average there for him. It sucks to say, but other than a guy like Alan Bersanta at number 13, who's sporting a 150 ERA right now, maybe AJ Bluebaugh, not a ton of guys here. Yeah, stop. Not a ton of guys here that, I'm really like getting like extremely excited over. I like them
I
taking Jace Mitchell. Uh, Shout out the Boca Blazers. He was supposed to play for them this summer if he wasn't drafted. Seventh round pick goes to him, so we didn't get to see him down in the SFCBL. But little cool bit of info there. But Ethan, do you see anything else out of the farm that you like here?
I mean, it's very bleak in my opinion. I think
It's bleak because it can be. In
I
all
think
honesty.
Nian should be a guy that should be the number one guy. I mean, the raw output for power is insane at 18. It also helps that he's 6'4" and over 200 pounds. It's another guy like Chris Rodriguez that we just talked about. These kids are still, I mean, teenagers, and they have plenty of room to grow. I think this will be one of the best picks in the first round. I think it's without a doubt. A lot of people had him way higher than when he was drafted too. I think that could be one of the, I guess, lower steals of the draft in terms of where he was picked. But Bryce Matthews, there's stuff there. Jacob Melton, I'm not really high on, to be completely honest. This is, I think, out of all the farms that we've covered, other than maybe the Rockies, it's very bleak.
Yeah.
And also, thank you guys for coming in here. There's almost 600 people talking about prospects, and
Yeah.
we've only gone through a handful of teams too.
Yeah, we're
around 20.
halfway. We might have to speed this thing up a little bit. This is my fault. I've been taking way too much time on some of these.
No, this is awesome, but yeah, I
I'm
mean,
enjoying it. But let's move on to the Royals now, who have a very interesting system in their own respects. Because I don't personally see Blake Mitchell as their top prospect anymore. I would much rather give that to a guy like Carter Jensen, who's honestly deserved it.
oh yeah,
But Mitchell's been really good this year, man. I mean, not like really good, but he's been very, very like solid for as far as the top prospect goes. 806 OPS. He's finally starting to like slightly figure things out in high A. His on base percentage is near 400, which is awesome. I need to see this guy slug more. Like I really do. He's got 60 grade power, and I don't think he's slugging over 400 in high A or on the
yeah.
year.
It's hard that Carter Jensen, who has posted way better numbers, he's only a year older, and it's at a better level. I mean, his OPS since getting the call to AAA, it's at 932.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's not over a guy like Blake Mitchell, and even like two guys that we talked about. I I mean,
I
I
think
think
just straight up future output is what you preached at the a bunch of times in the last episode. I think that's what they're doing here.
yeah, I think Sean Gamble and Josh Hammond. We talked about it before the show. Those are two guys that you want to watch. You put me on to Sean Gamble personally, um, uh, maybe like eight months ago. So shout out to you for that. I mean, absolutely insane left-handed swing out of IMG Academy. And I mean, Josh Hammond too. Just 6'1", huge power. You could even see it in the showcase BP. But yeah, those. I mean, that top four is really solid. And yeah, like I said, I would probably put
Where
Jensen above Blake Mitchell right now.
where would you put Blake Mitchell, say, if we threw guys like Noah Cameron and Jack Caglione back into the mix here?
I don't know. I mean,
I looked
Noah
at I
Cameron's.
looked at Fangraphs, so I have where they have him here. They have Cameron and Caglione on the list though.
Where would I put Mitchell or
Mitchell.
Jensen?
Mitchell.
I know. I mean, Noah Cameron's been really good this year. I think there's probably some regression there to an extent. Do they have him at 2 or 3?
They have Mitchell at 4.
Do they have him below Carter Jensen?
They do.
Okay.
The top four, as far as Fangraphs has it, is Caglione, Carter Jensen, Noah Cameron, and Blake Mitchell, which I think is a lot.
I think that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's way better.
Yeah, I saw some crazy Fangraph prospects rankings where it was like not updated, and somebody just was crazy disrespected. So,
oh yeah,
I don't know. I forget what that was, but like you already mentioned, Sean Gamble, Josh Hammond. Yeah, I love how you mentioned Drew Beam.
Because we talked about it before. There's no way Drew Beam can be bad. He has one of the most baseball names ever.
And he's doing good this year, man. His ERA is under 4.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. Yeah, I mean Drew Beam. Drew Beam has to be a big leaguer with that name. There's no way around it.
There are some arms here in the bottom half of this top 30 that I really, really like. I want to highlight from Tulane in this past draft at number 15, Michael Lombardi. 60 grade fastball. The curveball is way better at 65 grade. This guy was their closer this past year, Ethan, and the first round of the AAC tournament when they faced FAU, believe he went 7 innings pitched as a starter. So he has that starter in him. I'm really wondering if a team's going to want him as a shutdown reliever, if they're going to want him as a guy who's going to eat innings. And the fact that he went to the Royals, my curiosity with that is gone just through the roof. I cannot wait to see what they do with this guy. And I just wish he was a left-hander. That's really the only other thing I had for him. But really solid stuff. Has incredible versatility to either eat innings or be a high leverage guy. I love that pick. And I love the fact that he's being so highly respected in this top 30. Him, Carson Roccaforte is not an arm, but an outfield prospect that I really like. Gavin Cross as well. Guy that I said was going to be my Royals breakout pick because I thought he'd be up in the bigs by now. He's still in Double-A. Swing and a miss on my part. I'm sorry about that. Other than that, man, I really don't have much. Frank Muzzle, honestly, a really solid arm as well from the left side. I believe he was in the Futures game this past year as well. So really interesting farm. A lot of young guys, some arms that have some really cool stuff for them to work with. I think in terms of knowing what types of players they have to work with and the types of players they can unlock the most out of, they have a really good group.
I think so too. I mean, it's
not the most. It's not like the names that are gonna like stand out against a lot of other guys, but in terms of guys that I'm confident the Royals will be able to get the most out of, I think that they've gotten really good fits.
Yeah, and I mean, even towards like the bottom half that we talked about, I forgot what team we were talking about. It's like a lot of younger guys towards the bottom of the system compared to like the first 5 teams. There's a lot of like younger rookie league, shortstop, outfield prospects with multiple different tools. So there's a lot to play around with too.
Yep, absolutely is. And now we get to go talk about the Angels, who honestly have a pretty interesting farm. So
I like their farm to an extent.
There are a lot of like prospects here that I've got like crushes on, pretty much like not like that, but like prospect crushes. Like like that just sounds weird. I'm sorry. Christian Moore is their top prospect, Ethan. I mean, like, yeah.
I love Christian Moore. I think if he didn't get hurt last year, dude, he would have been insane at the MLB level. He was raking at every single level of the minors.
Didn't he have like
That,
back-to-back multi-homer games or something when
bro,
to
he
like
was
start off his pro career or something crazy?
there was a point last year where Christian Moore was getting talked about more than the Angels were getting talked about. It was like Christian Moore is like gonna make his major league debut and all this stuff, and then he had a season-ending injury. He hasn't been great. I mean, his OPS is 663 in 78 ABs, 27 games. The upside with him is still there. He's only 22 years old. Like there are a lot. I mean, there's only a few 22-year-olds in the bigs right now. I would definitely give him some time to develop. Tyler Brebner, I understand that at the time we were maybe a little bit of a hot take of where he was picked, but we still had him as a consensus top 10 guy. Um, Huge frame, 6'2", 190, and the changeup is diabolical. It was probably the best changeup in the draft class. And even a guy like George Clausen too. This is, I mean, the numbers haven't been there, but this is a guy a lot of people really like, just in terms of the velo and stuff like that. I mean, 70 grade fastball. That's one of the only guys that we've talked about, other than the guy in the Cleveland Guardians organization that had the 80 grade fastball. And even Chase Shores, like I know that that was a guy that was talked about a
So
lot.
nasty, dude.
6'8", 240, touching 98 to 99 miles an hour. He'll probably get to triple digits. This will be a guy that will fly through the Angel system.
Yeah.
Big, tall, lanky reliever with a plus fastball, decent slider. He'll probably have to develop the changeup more. If not, maybe throw a sinker or another offering that'll allow him to have more of a 3-pitch mix. But he'll be a guy that flies through the system.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't even know if they'll give him the time to develop to develop the changeup more.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know.
they see his frame, they see what he can be. Big leagues a month. That's what they're gonna think of it. Nelson Rada's a really interesting prospect as well. I want to shout out Stoner Rados because he loves himself a little Nelson Rada. He's OPSing 744 right now, but he's been like an on-base machine, man, at 392 OBP. In terms of his walks to strikeouts, 52 to 87. So it's not awful. Could be better, but it's not awful. And when he gets on base, one of the most threatening base runners in the entire minor leagues. He has 39 stolen bases. And, you know, not a lot of power is going to come off of that bat, but speed-wise, it gives you everything you need on the base paths. And, I mean, plus arm in the outfield, decent enough hit tool, solid glove as well. Prospect I really like there at number 9. Chris Cortez has an arm I'm really interested in as well. You know, he was a great arm for A&M back when they made their College World Series run. Another guy in the system with a 70 grade fastball, 3.86 ERA and over 100 innings pitched this year.
Yeah, 70 grade fastball with 60 grade slider.
And I mean, you remember Sam Aldeguerri making his like, you know, I mean, twice now he's made 2 little big league stints. Do you have any opinions on Aldeguerri? Because I know like some people are really high on him, and I know others really don't see why the Angels are pushing him sometimes to get.
Yeah, I'm not big on the pushing. I think he still has more development. The stuff isn't outstanding. I mean, he can get up to like 95, 96. He's usually going to sit like anywhere from 92 to 94. I'm not big on rushing him. I know that what we've seen at the MLB level hasn't been the best. I mean, in the 5 games, he has a 6.23 ERA. The Angels always do it. I get the position players a little bit more than the starters because, like, you need to have, you know, if you can hit in the minors, it translates a little bit more rather than if you're a 2-pitch or 3-pitch guy in the minors, you have a feel for like 2 pitches and you go out there and you're starting games at the MLB level with, I mean, the best hitters in the world. It's a lot harder to develop at that level and develop pitches rather than spending time in AA, spending time in AAA, redefining the arsenal and just trying to produce. But yeah, I don't agree with the huge call-ups.
I don't either. He did show some good stuff there, I believe, at first. And then it kind of just, you know, obviously came back down to earth. Matthew Lugo was a guy who really impressed people. 17 games at the big league level. He had an 804 OPS. And now just kind of logjam there in Salt Lake and AAA. I kind of wish they moved him at the deadline. I thought they could have gotten somebody pretty good for him. I mean, this is a solid big league ready outfielder. And I mean, tools, pretty solid across the board. Not like anything crazy, but I mean, this is a guy who's also your 25th ranked prospect, so he's not going to jump
Right.
off on the paper. But in terms of stat line scouting, I mean, dude, he's been just great. Honestly, great. Now we get to mess with a really fun farm system right now.
Oh shit! This is, I mean, probably the best. I mean, dude, this top 10 is ridiculous, dude.
I don't know where they rank now in terms of farm systems. It is very hard for me to
I
find
think it
one.
was. I think it was one. I think it was
This
one.
really was one.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think it was
agree with that, but I'd say this is probably like the second best farm system in the
oh, at
entire
least.
game. Like the LA Dodgers and what they have brewing for their future is unbelievable. And the fact of the matter is, they're probably not going to use 90% of these guys.
Right. And
So
I mean, we talked about it too. Even the guys that they do get rid of. I mean, Michael Bush. Granted, he had no place to play on that team. They know to an extent who they're giving away in
yeah,
terms of who they value long term as well. So yeah,
they're just
to your
very
point, a lot of
confident.
these guys probably are not going to be playing with them.
No, Ethan, but let's get into it, man. Tell me about some of these guys at the top. We talked about a lot of these guys already, because granted, a lot of these guys are top 100 prospects, but just
Yeah,
do it
I
for me.
mean, you have Baby Ordon with the Paula. Zaire Hope is so incredibly good. I think he had a little bit of a slow start to begin the year, but he's been like on fire recently. He's been getting a lot of praise. Last year, a lot of people had him as like a top 30 guy going into the season, and
Now he is.
he is. I mean, with what we've seen, I mean, 835 OPS at high A, and just the raw stuff with him is insane. And then you have like Eduardo Quintero, if you're not already following kind of what he's been doing, the fact that he is the fourth ranked prospect in that system,
He'd be the
he's
top
in.
ranked at probably every other system.
Oh, I would say without a doubt. I mean, even Mike Sirota. I mean, dude, Mike Sirota at
Yeah.
5. Mike Sirota right now in 59 games has an OPS north of 1,000, dude. It's insane. He's almost walking as much as he's striking out. It's insane. I mean, even Alex Freeland at 3. I mean, I know he hasn't been great at the MLB level, but he was raking in AAA and was producing some pretty solid power numbers. And even in 2024, he had 18 bombs. You get James Tibbs from the Boston Red Sox, and he's been very solid in their org as well. And you've got like River Ryan, granted the injury history, and he's been out for the year, but like their farm is so deep. Even Zachary Root, he was out of Arkansas, right?
They have back-to-back prospects in their system that were taken back-to-back in the draft, now ranked back-to-back in their top 30.
Dude, it's insane. I mean, you could even go through like the bottom like 10 guys, and this is probably still like one of the best orgs. It's insane.
I
They
mean, like,
have
there's like a lot of notable names top to bottom. I mean, you mentioned Zach Root already, and I want to get into the bottom half. Shout out avid T. Showman Report supporter Charles Davalon. Absolute dog of an outfielder, and the fact that he's their 15th ranked prospect, Ethan, is unreal. This guy
yeah, no, it's
has a
insane.
60 grade hit tool, and he's not a top 10 prospect. I mean, that just speaks volumes to me. I hope he gets a shot somewhere with the Dodgers. If he doesn't, I'm sure any team at a deadline is going to try and get him, especially after seeing what he does more in the professional levels. But Cam Leiter, whenever you see the name Leiter, it's pretty, right to assume that they're a pretty decent pitcher, I think.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And their 23rd ranked prospect is no different. Cam Leiter out of FSU. You're in a rotation with Jamie Arnold, so that's pretty much all you got to know about a guy like that. That's the type of standard I'm sure he holds himself to. 65 fastball, 55 curve and slider, and a pretty decent changeup to pair. Their first rounder a couple years ago, Kendall George. He's their 25th prospect, and granted, he hasn't been great, but he's still their
Yeah,
first round pick from a
yeah. I
couple
mean,
years
not
ago.
not
Not
like
much
a
time has
super.
passed. Like,
Yeah, like not a lot of power upside, but yeah. I mean,
and then I believe this is their fourth rounder from this year. Aiden West is now ranked 30. So that's what the Dodgers do. They get these top guys and they're able to sign them, seems like whenever, because who wouldn't want to go and play for the Dodgers? There's some guys that fell out of their top 30 too, like Maddox Bruns, that I'm still very interested in. It's unfair. Everything about the Dodgers is unfair.
it's so good. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan, I mean, there's probably never a sad. I mean, other than them playing kind of bad recently, there's never like a sad day in Dodgerville right now.
Oh no, the Dodgers are playing bad. I don't
Yeah,
care. No one cares.
whine about it. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Dodgers farm is not in terms of the. I mean, the town is the MLB team, but in terms of like their sort of level, it's one of the best in baseball. It's ridiculous. They have, in terms of organizational depth, it's the best in baseball right now.
Yeah, dude, they're like just. I mean, I haven't actually scanned the top 30 of the Dodgers in a long time. Like Sirota, I'm pretty sure was like 19 to start the year.
Sirota at 5 is that just screams how deep that farm system is. The fact that you have a guy in a 50 plus game sample size with an OPS north of 1,000 that can hit home runs and steal some bags. Yeah, shout out to Scott's Baseball. He was all I think for multiple different reasons. He was all over Sirota to start the year too.
Yeah, I mean, shout out the Northeastern Huskies. They produce dogs. Like just I mean, you'll see. Everyone will see. They're producing dogs every single year, and Mike Sirota is literally just one of them. I looked at the Marlins top 10 while you were like giving your last little tidbit there about the Dodgers, and oh my god, are they loaded?
So good, bro.
I'm not, I'm kind of just bouncing all over the place here, Ethan, because I see this and it is just like, I mean, what the fuck? Like Jacob Marcy is their 8th ranked prospect.
Dude, Jacob Marcy has one of the best starts to an MLB career.
And just
ever.
I know prospect rankings are not based on stats. You can't stats are just stats. They are not something you can take with you to another level or to another season. I don't know, man. You see the start Jacob Morrissey's have. You got to think there's something more in there that's maybe above a guy like Starlin Caba.
Yeah, I mean, I love Starlin Caba. I think we both do, but the bat is just it hasn't been there. The only time we've really seen it is like rookie ball. He struggled in high A or just in A ball last year, and then even this year he's hitting 204 with a 568 OPS, and it's not even like it's a small sample. I mean, it's a 42 game sample size. I know we've mentioned a couple like 8 games or 12 games with some of the guys that are in the Bridge League or guys that have been in A ball that just got drafted. This is a 42 game sample size where he just has not been hitting. Another guy like Andrew Salas, which is Ethan's younger brother. He really hasn't been hitting. Granted, I mean, this kid is literally 17 years old playing A ball.
Yeah, he'll be 17 for like 3 more years too.
Yeah, it shows how advanced he is. The fact that his expected time to be in the majors is 2030. It's one of the rare 2030s we've seen on any of these lists.
Yeah, I think
a guy like Joe Mack. Yeah, I think Chris Rodriguez is the only guy. You have Joe Mack, who's been
why is he not up yet?
I mean, I think Augustin Ramirez might have a.
That's
little. I mean, but no, Fortes is a Ray now, so I don't know how Joe.
I thought Fortes was on the Rays.
He is, but that's what I'm saying. If Fortes is on the Rays, who's the Marlins backup catcher behind Ramirez right now?
I don't think that.
Actually,
it's not Jacob Stallings because he's just like
no. I think he was talking about. I think it was Edward Cabrera's last. I can't think of his name right now, but he was talking about Edward Cabrera's last start where he was dominant. But yeah, I mean, Joe Mack has been pretty solid.
Robbie Snelling even. I don't know how he's been good this year. He's been really good.
Been insane.
Wow, he's been last episode really good. Even since the promo to AAA, 1.34 ERA, dude. He's been really good.
I think he had 9 or 11 Ks in his last start, and even we mentioned last time Thomas White. Thomas White has been unreal. Has been unreal. This is a guy. Even if you want to go look at the career numbers. I mean, he has 166 innings under his belt. He has 229 strikeouts. This stuff is completely wiped out. And then Ivar Arquette was one of our favorite picks in the entire draft. He slots in at number 2.
My favorite, man.
Dude, he's 6'5" shortstop.
And what you said probably has room to fill out a little more too.
I want to hear your opinion on their number 7 because we loved the pick. And I remember when he was drafted, you were so excited for him to go to the Marlins because I believe what we saw out of him from Clemson before he got hurt. But what have you seen from their number 7? Because I know you really like him.
Well, one, he started out really hot. 2 hits and 2 of those hits were doubles. 2 extra base hits for Cam Cattarella already in his pro career. I really, number one, I was excited just because, I mean, this guy's a human highlight reel. I mean,
Oh
he
yeah,
makes some of the most absurd plays in the outfield while packing a really, honestly solid punch with the bat. Power's not his calling card, but he can definitely go there. His plus hit tool obviously has shown already with 2 extra base hits in his first game of minor league baseball. Cam Cannarella is just going to translate so well to the pro ball just because of how athletic he is. There's no doubt in my mind there. When he does struggle, he's still going to be able to produce on the defensive end, on the bases. Um, Dude, I love that pick solely because I thought he was going to stay in the first round. He didn't end up staying in the first round. The other reason, I thought he was going to be in Jupiter for a little bit. So I thought I was going to be able to get up and see him play. Now the Marlins are going to assign their guy straight to high A all of a sudden. So I didn't like that very much because now I don't get to watch Iva or Cam play until they reach Lone Depot. By then, I probably won't live in Florida anymore. So I honestly not too happy about that. The pick, though, I really liked. So,
dude, even like PJ Morlando's at 16. This
PJ
is a
Morlando's
former,
at
this is a first
16.
round pick. This is a former
Yeah,
first round pick.
yeah. Dude,
PJ Morlando was
not
the
even just
number
former.
one.
He was their first rounder last year.
He was, I mean, he's granted he has been struggling, but I think recently he's been kind of picking it up. But PJ Morlando was the number one player in his high school class when he got drafted. And if you follow youth prospects, you saw him a lot last year with the Canes. This guy was arguably the best hitter at the high school level when he was drafted.
Yeah.
The fact that he's 16, he's still only 20 years old. He'll probably develop a little bit more. And like I said, recently he's been picking it up. The fact that he's 16 and you have Noble Meyer at 10.
We didn't even talk about Noble Meyer yet, which is absurd because he went from
Noble
like
Meyer at
10.
10.
And I don't think that's any shot at him. That's just how deep this system is.
No, not at all. I mean, he's still 20. He's 20 years old, and he's 6'5". Like, there's a lot to like about this system,
dude. Like, 11 to 14 is solid. 10 to 14 is solid. Kemp Alderman's been great this year. Dylan Head, I mean, he hasn't been good, but there's great upside still with him if he can stay healthy. The power Brandon Compton has, I want to see rise to the MLB level because the EVs he had in the combine turned a lot of heads, I heard. And then, a couple years ago, this would have been better. Dax Fulton was a lot better of a prospect around then. Still in this top 30. You keep going down. You already mentioned PJ Morlando. I don't know if you know this name or not, Ethan. I'm assuming you do because, you're a junkie like I am about this, about, just baseball in general. Luis Cova is a name that you are going to have to remember for a long time, I think, because his ETA is 2029. He's in rookie ball right now, still in the Dominican, hitting 295, 415, and 520 with a 935 OPS. 34 RBIs, 32 walks to 39 Ks, and 35 stolen bases and 8 homers.
The only reason I know about him is because of Fish on First. I will give them credit. They post a lot about their prospects. If you don't follow Fish on First already, you need to because they're very good. They cover their prospects very well, especially
they do a great job
finding videos of some of the DSL players too. But yeah, I've seen a little bit of him. I mean, the fact that you have a 935 OPS in 48 games, really solid power output, and then it's like, is he fat? Yeah, he's stolen 35 bags. I like that shout because I feel like, I mean, one, if you don't follow Fish on First, you don't really know about it as much. But the fact that he is in a system like PJ Morlando, like when we were first recording and stuff, I would assume he would still be in like the top 12. Like the fact that he is 16, former first round pick, or I should just say last year. And then you have Kova at 19, and like I said, that's a stat line guy that you can go and just look at in some of the videos on Twitter. The kid's a beast. And granted, it's the DSL, but at the same time, like he's
we don't disrespect the DSL here.
No, he's been very solid. And granted, he's only 18 years old and he's 6'1" right now, so there's definitely a lot more room to develop with the frame.
Yeah. Only other couple of prospects I want to talk about out of the I guess only two. Max Williams up in Jupiter right now, a draft pick this year out of FSU. I love that for just depth in outfield prospects for them. Davison De Los Santos. I know Lewis loves Davison De Los Santos.
Lewis loves him, bro.
I would think this guy would be like a 30 to 40 homer a year bat at the major league level, just based on the power he has. But I mean, he may be more like a quad A hitter than I think I'm really
Yeah,
giving it.
yeah. I
Like,
would for sure.
and then I mean, just the names that they have of some of these guys at the bottom half. I mean, some of these guys you would think it would be really hard to not succeed based on their names. Maximo Acosta, I don't think he's going to be a very good big league shortstop, but I mean, hey, he could be great depth there at AAA. Grant Shepherdston, solid name there as well. But I'm really looking at a guy, their 28th prospect, Fenwick Trimble.
That's a name of that's a
I wanted
fantastic.
this guy to have like a ridiculous stat sheet, but he doesn't. He's OPSing 754. So just a fun name there. If you are a Pensacola resident and you're going to Blue Wahoo's games, maybe let me know what you think of Fenwick Trimble, because
Tremble's a guy like Drew Bean. I mean, there's no way Drew got to make the majors with those.
hey, Fenwick's got 20 stolen bases on the year, so there is some value to him. Is all I'm saying. But let's keep it going, man, because we're almost an hour 30 into the show here. The Brewers. Let's have some fun with this one. Maybe the two most interesting 1 and 2 prospects in any system right now, because you could probably ask 100 like prospect watchers and evaluators, and we might be split down the middle as to who the Brewers' top prospect is, because Jesus Mate and Luis Pena have been kind of back and forth, and we spent a lot of time talking about these guys last episode, so I don't really want to take the time, as I've already spent like a minute introducing them. But
no. The only reason I think Jesus Mate might be above Luis Pena is just because he's a switch hitter.
I agree.
Really the only kind of thing I see, because Luis Pena is, like I said, we're already kind of into this, so we'll keep it brief. That's the only reason I could see that. But both very elite plate discipline guys. Same thing like with Leo DeVries for the A's now. Can steal some bags, are pretty solid defensively too. The Brewers have an insane farm system with those two, and then you go to a guy like Cooper Pratt, Jefferson Cuero. Shout out Jefferson Cuero. He'll be making his debut pretty soon. Logan Henderson too. We saw what he did at the MLB level. He was diabolical. Was Andrew Fisher? He was a draft pick.
He was
I believe.
He was I believe their first rounder out of Tennessee.
He was their first. Yeah, he's 20th. Yeah, 20th overall.
Funny enough, I saw two of my buddies were at his draft party. And so
yeah,
I told you that story. Went up to him at the bar. They're like, "Yeah, we're like best friends with Andrew Fisher." I was like, "That's actually just like the smallest world of small worlds."
Seriously. Right. No, that's really cool.
But where else are we at on here? Bishop Letson, dude. I don't know if you've looked into his profile too much, but he's a stud. ERA below 1.5 this year. He hasn't thrown a crazy amount of innings, but this is a guy who receives comps extension-wise, like Jacob Mizorowski.
I mean, yeah, I think you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. Luke Adams has been really good as well. He's been rising up a lot of prospect boards. Braylon Payne, believe he's been playing pretty solid as well. As OPS is near 800 there. And Brady Ebel, I love that draft pick. I thought that was awesome. Another Corona kid going there. Craig Yoho at 16. I think you know a little bit more about him than I do, so I kind of want to let you get into this one a little bit, because I know Will really likes him too.
Bro, he's disgusting. This is one of the guys that will have a 70 or 80 grade pitch that's not a fastball. Craig Yoho's changeup broke models. People had to reevaluate their models because his changeup moves in different. It was similar to like some lefty offering. His changeup moves in such a weird way. I want to see it was like last year, where he had one of the most ridiculous stat lines ever. He like wasn't allowing any home runs. I think maybe it was even part of this year. In AAA this year, Craig Yoho in 34 appearances has a .96 ERA with 47 Ks over 37 and 2/3 innings. The changeup is diabolical. And like I said, it's probably one of the only pitches we will see out of all the pitching prospects or even reliever prospects that is a 70 or 80 grade that is not a fastball. The fact that he is a 16th ranked prospect in that system shows how deep the system really is, in my opinion. Even like Robert Gasser was great last year too. I know he got hurt, but Gasser was fantastic. The sweeper was diabolical.
Mm-hmm. Eric Batanti was really good last year. Mike
Tyler
Bove was
Black was
really
getting a lot
good.
of comps too.
He was. Blake Burke is a really solid guy. There is not a single bad prospect in this top 30. I mean, like, I don't want to call any of these guys bad because they're all professional baseball players, but like in terms of like names that jump out at you,
Oh yeah, for
top to
sure.
bottom, you could, I mean, go up to probably, I mean, like Daniel Dickinson at 23, dude. I mean, like these are all like notable enough names. Guy went in the
I would
draft
say
last
so.
year, like this past year. Like, I mean, top to bottom, not the, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's hard to say it's not the deepest, I think.
Oh, for sure. In terms of top to bottom, it's one of the deepest in Major League Baseball.
Speaking of one that did get a little deeper here at the deadline, the Twins. We talked a lot about the Twins on the last show, so I don't know how much we got to spend on them. Walker Jenkins is looking like himself again, and I love to see that out of him in Double A. Eduardo Tait, you've talked so much about Tait and how good he is, and the changes he's made, and how he's taken his game to another level because of those changes. We talked about Keyschool as well, Erod, Kalen Culpepper, Mick Abel. Unbelievable top six. I love that for Minnesota. And you keep going down the line here. Merrick Houston at 8. He will not finish as the 8th best prospect in this system.
Even Quentin Young at 14.
Yeah, like
I
even
mean,
Riley Quick at 12. Like there are just some
yeah.
really, like they drafted really, really well this year. Billy Amick at 18. I mean, James Elwinger, I love there at 22 as an arm. And then I mean, a lot of their guys are already getting big league reps too. So that's what you got to like about a lot of these prospects. Enrique Jimenez, I believe, was sent to them at the trade deadline as well. He's their 30th prospect. So there is quite a bit to like here with the Minnesota Twins farm system. Is there anybody else that you wanted to cover before we move on here?
Not really too much more in depth. I mean, Quentin Young at 14, I think is ridiculous. Well, the only other guy I will say is CJ Culpepper. I've stat lined a few times when looking at leaderboards. He's been pretty solid. I mean, this is a guy in terms of 4 teams, 4 years, 3.28 ERA. He's got 189 Ks and 181 innings. He's been very solid, kind of a deep mix. But I mean, yeah, you touched on Riley Quick, Quentin Young. You have Abel, you have Culpepper, you have Erod. Erod, please, for the love of God, just stay healthy. And then same thing with Walker Jenkins. He's staying healthy. He looks great. And then Tait, I could talk about for 30 minutes on the adjustments he's made. I like the Twin system a lot. A lot of high upside guys.
You said it, man. A lot of high upside guys. I feel like for the most part too, pretty solid ceiling guys as well.
I
mean floor. What the hell am I talking about? I meant high floor.
I think Jenkins, Tait, and Erod alone, and we've seen what Luke has done. Luke has been unreal. We talked about Miami's hot start with one of their prospects. He's had one of the best starts to a career that we've seen recently too, and he capped it off with a 2 home run game and a walk-off home run. And then you have Culpepper, you have Mick Abel, who they have to be very, very high on as well. So, and then Houston, like you said, there's no way he's going to be their 8th ranked prospect after probably next update.
Unless he does get up really quick, because I could see him beating the updates almost.
Yeah, I could see that. I just think there's so much to work with this system. And there's a lot of, in terms of like pitching too, the Twins are so good at developing pitchers and just kind of finding these guys too. Maybe not in terms of developing, but finding some of these arms to draft or to trade with if they are prospects. I don't know. I like how the Twins operate in terms of pitching development because they've been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I just love what they have going on in the system right now, especially after the deadline that they had. I thought they retooled really nicely. Now, when we talk about the Mets, their top 10 is incredible. So I want to let you go through that because I feel like you could explain, some of these guys definitely better than I could. But I mean, just going down the line, dude, the Mets are loaded as well. So, I mean, just out of the top guys here, what do you see?
I mean, Carson Bench, you've highlighted it in depth in your thread. One of the best pure hitting prospects in all of MLB. Jet Williams, his frame is not going to stand out, but he's finally healthy this year, and he looks incredible. Jet Williams is 100% back. McLean just got the call to the bigs, and I think our last episode, we literally were like, McLean, Jonathan, those two alone were already MLB ready, and McLean literally like 8 or 9 hours later gets the call to the MLB. Jonathan, I think it's highest K rate and most Ks in the minors. He is simply incredible. Brandon Sproat, I'm not as high on as other guys just because of the fastball shape. It's not the best. I would like him to throw maybe the sinker a little bit more if he's not already. Even like a guy like Jacob Reimer, AJ Ewing, Ryan Clifford too. Ryan Clifford, I feel like, is getting severely disrespected.
I
If you want to
agree.
go,
I agree.
I mean, granted, he's only played 3 games in AAA. I'm literally not going to take that into consideration at all. I'm looking at the fact that in 105 games this year in AA, he had 24 bombs, 75 RBIs, and around 20 doubles. The power output has been insane, and he's still 22 years old. So the fact that he's 22, he's getting a little bit of a cup of coffee at AAA this year, which I really like.
I
Mitch
agree.
Voigt too. I know that was a draft pick that they just had. I know OC loved Mitch Voigt as a draft pick, so I'll take his word on that.
Toolsy, man.
Even if
He's really toolsy.
very toolsy, and then even if you want to go in just like other pitching prospects in the org, the Mets the last 2 or 3 years in terms of pitching development has been fantastic, and there's so many arms that aren't even in this top 30 that you can just go and look at that are great stat line scouting and just great stuff if you can go look at the A ball metrics or the AAA metrics. So a lot to like within the Mets system, but the top 9, I haven't really looked at Elian Pena just because he is in rookie ball. He's 17 years old. That's probably a guy that not everyone is watching right now. But in terms of the top 9,
Mm-hmm.
that is really solid.
I completely agree. And I mean, Elian Pena, I know not a lot of people, can watch because, I mean, just rookie ball is a lot harder to consume.
Oh
But,
yeah,
I mean, 2030 ETA with, pretty much plus tools almost across the board. Like, that's a very intriguing person, needless to say, to watch. But as we keep moving down, Jonathan Santucci and then Chris Suaro right after, followed by Nick Morabito. So good, dude. That's such a good stretch of 3 prospects. Suero can catch, play the outfield, and he can play first base as well. So that alone, I love. And the bat has shown plenty this year. Santucci has a 3.42 ERA and 92 innings pitched. Incredibly just gifted left-hander for them. And I don't know if you remember. I don't think we were live for this pick because it was their 4th-round pick. The Peter Cuso pick was, dude, so many Mets fans love this one, and I gotta say, I was right on board with him. This guy's nasty, bro. 55 fastball with a 55 slider. Touches low 90s, but he could top out at 97. Like,
yeah.
this kid's only 18.
Yeah, I think Isaac or I know Isaac posted about him, and I know OC liked him too. Like high run fastball, it high ride fastball at the top of the zone. I think he gets up to like 96, 97, but it sits low 90s. And I think his slider is like insane, like high RPM slider. I don't know off the top of my head, but approaching probably like 27 or 2800 RPMs just off the top of my head. But I know a lot of Mets fans were excited about that.
Yeah, very high spin slider. Doesn't give me an RPM on his scouting report though. He's their 27th prospect right now, dude, and I mean he will, in all likelihood, with an ETA of 29, he will probably finish well within the top 10.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say from the stuff alone.
Yeah, so that's all I got for the Mets. But overall, I cannot wait to see Nolan McLean's sweeper play hit the MLB level, dude. I mean,
he's even everything.
Now we can take as much or as little time as you want with these New York Yankees. Let me just be on the record for saying I absolutely love our top 10. I really do. I love George Lombard. I think LeGrand just an unbelievable arm that I hope we can get up and get right. Cam Schlittler, I feel like everybody knows how I feel about him. He's awesome. Spencer Jones, the same. Bryce Cunningham's interesting as well. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is who I really like here because he's been our unsung hero of the farm system. A 2.02 ERA in almost 116 innings pitched, Ethan. He's eaten a lot of innings for us. He's started in 19 games, appeared in 20. I mean, a 9-5 record. Like, I don't know if a lot of people see this guy being a starter at the big league level for the Yankees, but I certainly want this guy as a part of our rotation. I don't know if you feel the same way. And I know that you do have a bit of an opinion on guys like Dax Kilby, so I want to let you kind of take some reign for this for the rest of the system. But
I
if
mean,
you don't have much else, I don't blame you. The system's not very loaded.
I would just say Chase Hampton. I mean, Chase Hampton, I was looking a little bit at last year just because of the 2023 numbers. I mean, dude, 106 innings, 145 Ks.
Yeah, he's legit.
The stuff kind of just stands out, and we've seen it pretty much his whole like minor league career. I mean, there just isn't too much in the system.
There isn't.
I know that there's some. I mean, like, dude, even like shout out like Roger Arias. Like,
honestly,
there's
dude,
some guys.
I see a lot in this back end. I really like. Like,
I do. The only thing with the Yankees is just like their prospects get gassed up so much. And I will say though, granted,
always.
Yeah, Spencer Jones has been struggling mightily over like the last like 15 games. I still think Spencer Jones is a beast. I don't really know how you could say that he would be terrible at the MLB level. I think there is a world where Spencer Jones could be, not saying he will be, but he could be a walking 30 home run per year bat. I mean, the fact that you're 6'7", 240,
too, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, we've seen what Schlittler's done. I mean, George Lombard Jr., the tools itself and just his pure athleticism alone is well enough for him to be the number one guy. And I know he just hit a home run the opposite way the other day too. Yeah, Rodriguez Cruz is a guy that I've looked at too, just because he's a guy that pops up when you go and look at pictures. I mean, the fact that you have a sub 2.2 ERA in 120 plus innings, like that'll kind of put you on a lot of leaderboards alone. Ben Hess is a guy that I like as well. Yeah, and like Chase Hampton's produced at I think every single level every single year. So there's a lot to like, but granted, like I mean, you can't gas it up too much. It's pretty bleak at the same time.
Yeah, there are teams that I think are a lot bleaker. I'm very biased when I say this, but I want to see how Hampton comes back from injury and how he does. I do like Brock Selvage still. I hope Caden Kent can have some big league pedigree thrown into him to make him rise a little. That Pico Cone pick in the draft was one of my favorites because the Yankees are going to he's going to be a dog. Like he's going to be like a reliable left-hander like Carlos Rodon is, I feel like, for them, which that just feels weird saying a reliable lefty like Carlos Rodon. But I mean, I guess he has been. Dylan Lewis, another prospect I just want to highlight because he's been unbelievable for Hudson Valley and High A this year. An 800 OPS, 20 homers, 22 stolen bases. He's never going to see the light of day in Yankee Stadium, but one could always hope. One could hope. Core Jackson, another infield prospect I really like out of Utah. So shout out Hagen Snow.
80 grade name too, by the way.
Oh, 80 grade name. And you want to talk about 80 grade names? He's their 18th ranked prospect. Their 19th ranked prospect, Thatcher Hurd. So 80 grade names here. And then Roger Arias just cooling it there at the 21st spot. He was a top 10 prospect for them, I'm pretty sure, last update.
Yeah, he was.
I need to see that bat come through, man, because I want this kid to be good so bad. You don't know how bad I want a switch hitter.
Dude, they signed him for like $3 or $4 million, I remember. Like he was supposed to be like the next big thing in their system.
Are unreal. And to be fair, the hitting grades aren't good. Everything else is really good. And arm and stolen bases are really what you got to look at with him. He has almost 30 stolen bases this year. And I believe he has not played a full year either. Dylan Hasso, too, I really like. I did a thread about him, so if you really care about Dylan Hasso, that's on my Twitter. I'm not going to go now. Let's keep it going. Philadelphia Phillies, they've just sported out the same top guys for the last few years, and they can because they're the Philadelphia Phillies, and they seem to operate better than most teams do. Andrew Painter is still their top prospect. Do you have any agreements or disagreements with that?
I mean, no. I mean,
don't either. I
just wish he didn't get hurt. I mean, I know that he's been mixing in the curveball a little bit more because the fastball was getting hammered. It's going to be a work in progress thing, to be completely honest with me. I'm super high on him, but I'm also not as high as some people just because like the injury concerns. The stuff still looks pretty solid, but like I said, he's going to have to tweak his arsenal because at AAA, the fastball has been getting hammered. I love Aiden Miller. Aiden Miller is insane. I don't really need to look at the numbers too much because in terms of athleticism and the tools he brings, it's always going to be there. Justin Crawford has been fantastic for the Phillies. The
Their
power
top
output
is
hasn't been
so
there, but
solid.
yeah. You mean Rune Escobar too? I know
I
that
knew you were gonna bring him up. You're a bigger
bro,
Rune Escobar guy.
Escobar's a beast. Dante Nori, I saw a lot just watching youth prospects with the Canes. And I think he's been pretty solid too. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
265,
I know
745
as of
OPS.
late, I think he has actually been. Let me look at his last 10. His last 10 games, he's been not great, but he's been. I mean, dude, he's still just 20 years old. So
Right. Gage, I loved that. Was like one of my favorite picks in the draft was Gage Wood. I think him at 4 is pretty solid. I mean, Escobar I think is a beast, so it's kind of
don't sleep on Kate Obermuller, man.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the top of
He's
their
got
system
good
is
stuff.
yeah. I mean, the top of their system is stacked, and then as you get like a little bit more down, it's I mean, I guess not as much. I haven't really looked into too many of these guys to an extent.
I really like Carson DeMartini. He probably doesn't have any future with the Phils, but in terms of like a player in Double A they could dish out, like he was hitting good enough to the point where he probably had good enough trade value. He has 10 homers this year and 44 stolen bases. So he's solid. Keaton Anthony's had a great year, like really good year. 323 average and 862 OPS across 82 games. Added 6 homers. I mean, not much power, but still almost 40 RBIs. 80 grade name TJ Walton with 2 Ys.
That's shit. I mean, might be close to a 90 grade. I love that.
We got Iverson Castellano here. That's like a 70 grade name.
That's a 70 grade name.
Dylan Campbell, their 28th ranked prospect. I actually highlighted him yesterday because recently he's been really, really good. So if he would have just put that together, maybe, I mean, last 10, he's slugging 528 and hitting 347. So yeah, he's doing solid. Top to bottom, they've got some dogs. It's just the top is so ridiculous for them.
I agree. I mean, the top 6 is. I mean,
Pittsburgh Pirates.
I'd probably go top 10. Honestly, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think a full year of high A for Arun Escobar, he's going to rise to a top 3 Phillies prospect.
Oh yeah.
But let's see, we've got the Pirates, Padres, Mariners. How many more? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10. 2/3 of the way through. So let's keep it going with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have one of the most unreal top 5s. Connor Griffin, we talked about him a lot yesterday. Bubba Chandler, not yesterday, 2 days ago, but Bubba Chandler, I don't know if we really needed to go too deep into. We talk a lot about Bubba Chandler in general. Seth Hernandez at 3 is a good place. I'm not gonna lie.
This top 12. This top 12 is this top 12.
No, you're absolutely right.
Insane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Levi Sterling at 12. I've seen a little bit of him in FCL stuff. Wyatt Sanford too. Wyatt Sanford has one of the best gloves in their system by a mile. Thomas Harrington too. Like that's going to be one of the core guys in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Florentino. I promise you, please, please, please keep tabs on him. This kid is fucking insane. He is so good. I wish I would have went up to Bradenton and watched him a little bit more. Or actually, I guess I can still go and watch him before he probably gets promoted.
Absolutely.
Tamar Johnson, too, was one of the highest regarded players when he was drafted. And honestly, he's been putting together a pretty solid-ish year. Hitting for some power, too, to be honest. We saw a little bit of it in 2023. He did have 18 bombs in 105 games. Last season, 15 bombs in 124 games. So the power's kind of coming together for him, which is solid. Hunter Barco, too, is one of the better left-handed pitching prospects. Nick York, we saw a little bit of him kind of break out almost to an extent last year in terms of the quality of contact metrics. But there's so many guys to look at. Even their number 30 guy, Tony Blanco Jr., this guy hit a 120 mile an hour home run, and it was just, smoked. I need to go to some more Marauder games because there are just some absolute freak talents there. I mean, considering Connor Griffin just got the promotion, sucks that I didn't go and see him more. But Tony Blanco Jr., regardless of the K rate, he's got an 895 OPS right now. So he's been incredible. Jared Jones, even a guy recent draft pick. I mean, he's their 27th overall prospect. The Pirates, in terms of overall org, maybe not as much in the MLB level, but in terms of their prospects and in their minor league stuff, they're always stacked. Like they always have. I mean, they had Paul Skeens, they had Garrett Cole back in the day.
Mhm.
They had so many. They've always had a top guy, and we're seeing it like with Griffin, with Bubba Chandler, with Seth Hernandez, Marco, Florentino. Like there's so many guys that you can go and nitpick, and even a guy like I just covered in Tony Blanco Jr. with an OPS approaching 900. He's their 30th ranked guy and hit 120-mile-an-hour home run. So there's a lot to like with this system.
Dude, I mean, you mentioned a lot, and the craziest part is like I still have guys that I want to talk
Dude,
about.
go
Like,
for it, man.
dude, I mean, Rafael Flores, a big league ready catcher that they got from the Yankees in that David Bednar trade, I thought was awesome to get for them. Sammy Stafura, I can't remember if you brought him up or not. He was in that Cabrian Hayes deal. While he has 45 power and just graded out as an average hitter, he still has like I believe he has around he does have 54 RBIs. 54 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, 20 doubles, 10 triples, and 4 homers. And
Bro.
this kid flies so under the radar. He's so good, and he's OPSing only 768. This is why you don't look at slash line from minor leaguers. Like it doesn't really matter at all, to an extent.
I will say this: did you recently see that the Pirates right now care more about team success than prospect development?
Who said that? Because the Greensboro Grasshoppers are like one of the best teams in all of
It
baseball.
literally just some prospect came out and talked about it,
I'm
but
looking that up.
I thought that was insane. I think I saw one of the Vinny that I follow on Twitter. He made a tweet about it, but the fact that they were caring more about overall team success than
Oh, I see.
wins.
Okay. Met Pirates prospect Rafael Flores on my trip to Indianapolis and asked him about the pressure of a new org. Wow, hang on. He said he'll also have to adapt to a new organization. He's already noticed some differences. Flores said the Yankees' minor league focus is pure player development, while the Pirates value team success more. Okay, I don't think it was like big league level team success. That's what I thought you meant.
No, like organizational prospect success. I think that's
I mean,
crazy.
I don't hate that, but like I don't think that's setting themselves up the best. Like,
I think, and even like we'll go over. I mean, even with some of the other teams that we'll go over next, like the pure athleticism and bat to ball skills alone and just projectability in almost terms is more important at 18 and 19 years old than some of the results they're putting together. So I think development, I mean, has to be the main focus for an org. Like, I don't
I
know why
agree.
it wouldn't be.
But if the
Completely honest
Yankees'
with you.
focus is player development and our team looks like this, like I really don't give that much of a fuck what they say. Murph Gray at 23 here for the Pirates, still one of my favorite picks of the draft. I think their
Right.
whole class might be my favorite class of the 2025 draft, but great power, solid arm as well. And then one guy I wanted to make a threat on, but he's had injuries, and I didn't feel right about doing that because he hasn't seen the field very recently. Axial Plauz, their 29th rated player in their farm. Ethan, if you've got time to open up Prospect Savant and look at his profile, he hits the crap out of the baseball. This guy's going to be a top 10 prospect in their system. I don't really have a doubt in my mind. As long as he can stay healthy, he's got catcher and corner infield versatility as well at first.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, really promising advanced profile. And I ran with this, and I can't blame myself. He's played 55 games. That's good enough for me to gas you up a little bit.
I mean, hammers fastballs, 287 XBA on four seamers, 280 XBA on sinkers. Like, not a super high whiff rate, bro. Top 8% hard hit rate, top 10%.
Yeah, I think he's going to
Solid.
surge. I think he could be a top 100 guy maybe in the near
That's
future.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good look right there.
But let's move on to the Padres, man, because they don't have
This
Leo
looks a lot
DeVries
different.
anymore.
It looks a lot different
A
now.
lot different. If you would have told me Cale Fountain would be a top 10 prospect for them at the end of the year, I would have responded to you with, well, they probably went out and got someone pretty damn good for their big league team. And you know what? That's what they ended up having to go
That's what
do.
they did.
There's a lot of guys here with 80 grade names. Cash Mayfield for one. I want to start out with that because I just love Cash Mayfield. Their fourth prospect in his first pro season. He's started 16 games, Ethan. Struck out 72 batters and has walked just 26 and has a 2.92 ERA with a
Yeah,
batting
not
average against of
buck 97.
197.
Yeah, I
He is
mean,
a bit older compared to a lot of the I guess, prep guys that come out into the draft. He is 20 already in low A. But 6'4", 200, man. This guy has all the makings of just a stud starter at the big league level.
yeah, and even like Bradley Rodriguez, like I've seen a lot of prospect guys and Padres fans that I follow have been kind of raving about him too. I mean, but yeah, this farm system, I think it was like what 12 top 30 guys or 10 top 30 guys that were moved. So it looks a lot different than it did just a few weeks ago. Um, I just know in terms of the arm talent that they have in the org is like crazy. It's kind of similar to the Mets recently, just in terms of high velo guys, high stuff guys. It's the same thing with the Padres. And some of the guys that they even sent over to the Athletics with net. Some of the other, I think there was one guy that was averaging like 98 or 99 on the fastball. It's the same kind of thing with the Padres. There's just a plethora of guys in Double A and Triple A and other levels of the minors that just have crazy stuff.
I'm
But even
excited to see Cruz Schoolcraft and what he can do. I mean, we don't got to talk about him because we've talked about
no,
him so much already, but
don't have to talk about Ethan Salas either.
no. Moving down more into their farm, their 13th ranked prospect, Ryan Weidman, I really like what he could do for them. He's already in A ball at low A, and he's 21 years old. He's played Conference USA baseball with Western Kentucky, so I'm very, very intrigued to see how he goes from playing CUSA baseball to professional low A baseball. I think
Right.
it's going to be a very big change for him. But I think once he adjusts, he's never going to look back. I think he's just that type of a gamer. Also, a follower of T. Schulman Report, so I have to shout him out because very good dude. Always supports, always answers messages or whatnot. So maybe we'll try and get Ryan on the show one day. I'd love to talk to him in full length about what his time with the Padres has been like so far. But we keep it going on some other college bats. Kavaris Tears, a bat out of Tennessee, is not playing very good in his first pro year, but still plus power and a plus speed there on the base paths. Solid arm there from the outfield as well. A plus glove too. Like he's got tools, man. That bat can come out a little more. I'd love to see him just continue to at least rise through the system. Who else? Michael Salina. This guy, dude. I don't know if you saw him at St. Bonaventure at all on Twitter. He went viral a couple times. Throws gas. Like
Yeah, I mean, he
absolute
tops
gas.
out at like what 102, 103. Like,
Yeah,
bro.
dude, and I've
Yeah.
heard that with these guys with crazy velo at these small schools. I've heard their off-speed stuff's like comparable, like almost better.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, that could definitely be a guy that you circle after this episode and kind of watch his progression through the minors.
I'm trying to see here. Do they have Jordan Yoss' older brother, or does he just have the same last name? I think he just has
Who,
the same
Eric,
last name.
or
Yeah,
just their same last name?
I think just same last name. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in the profile. I just had to double check that. Um, dude, there's just not a ton of like really notable names on
I
here.
mean, when you go out and you trade
Sorry, but
for Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn and Mason Miller, like you're gonna give up a lot of guys to get that, and they gave up a shit ton.
yeah, now we
One of
talk
the
about
biggest dumps that we've seen.
yeah, 100%. But I mean, they didn't look back. They did it right. So, I mean, let's look at the best farm system in all of baseball now with 9 top 100 prospects in the Seattle Mariners. We talked about this top 30 like in pretty deep, like in like pretty fair depth, I'd say.
I would definitely say so. I mean, we
So, I
talked
mean,
about Ty
I
Pete
don't,
at 12 is ridiculous.
dude, honestly, we might be able to skip over this one. We've talked about this entire top 30. I mean, I know this is a top 30 episode, so I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to talk about something we've already talked about.
Yeah, I mean, we talked all about Kate Anderson. We talked about Cole. We talked about Harry Ford just being kind of logjam, but we've seen the progression. So yeah, I agree. But they just have to. I mean, Ty Pete at 12 is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Formello at like what, 7?
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, they are incredibly fun team to just follow recently, any level. But the Giants have a system that I really am very intrigued about that I keep very close tabs on. because I'm very fortunate enough to have a lot of Giants supporters, at least on my own account. Ethan, I don't know if you have the same. They're really active on Twitter, so I would assume that they're pretty active on your account as well. But Giants got some interesting guys, man. Bryce Eldridge, we talked quite a bit about. He's banging on the door to the majors. But this guy at number two, I can honestly say I'm not the most familiar guy within, I hope I'm saying this right, Josar Gonzalez.
I think you nailed it.
I
I think you nailed it. I haven't seen too much video on him, but I mean, he right now
Google Translate and
at 17 years old, he's walking more than he's striking out. I think other than Chris Rodriguez, I think that's one of the only guys that we've seen with kind of that walk decay rate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, showing a little bit of power, 30 plus bags. This is probably a guy that right after we record, we'll probably look into because,
Joshua.
I mean,
yeah. So it's Joshua in Spanish.
Josuar.
I was close.
I think it was pretty
good.
I
know what I basically said that.
I would have butchered it too. I think most people would have butchered it. But yeah, I honestly I'm not too familiar with him. I will say about Bryce Eldridge, he hammers fastballs. He has huge whiff rate concerns on off speed and breaking balls right now. So I mean, he's banging on the door, but also it's not like a Spencer Jones comp, but Bryce Eldridge has a world where he's just like a walking 25 plus, 30 plus home run bat. And he's still only 20 years old at AAA, which is fucking crazy to say. 6'7", 240, could literally be a middle linebacker in the NFL if he really wanted to. But yeah, his development has been pretty solid. Like I said, still struggles against non-fastballs to an extent. Once he gets to get going and he's developing, I mean, imagine when he's 22, 23 years old. Like this is a special bat.
Yeah, completely agree there. I mean, I love Gavin Keelan getting respect that he's getting at number 3. Bo Davidson at 5. This is a guy that I love getting this respect. And shout out Nate Rasmussen because he posted an amazing thread about Bo Davidson the other day.
He tweeted it.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, it's somewhere on my feed. I mean, you have to scroll down a little bit, but really, really good work that he did there, and he does amazing work with all of his prospect stuff there at Prospect Live. But Bo Davidson, man, he is really, really good, and every season he is just raked. He's never had a season, Ethan, where he's OPS'd under 860.
I mean, even to like Bo Davidson's point too, like Johnny Level is another guy that I see all the time when I look at leaderboards. Like he's been pretty consistent, showing decent power, not striking out a lot. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Gonzalez. You're seeing a walk to K rate around the same, 43 walks to 48 Ks with 20 bags. This is definitely an underrated system. And you got a guy like Drew Gilbert at number 8. I don't know if you're high on him, but I'm not as much, to be completely honest. I think Drew Gilbert.
I'm higher.
I don't want to say Quad A. Yeah,
Quad A for sure. You could say that.
I think Tidwell, if he was just as a closer, he'd be. I mean, he's already. I mean, I saw him in spring and he was sitting like 99. I think he hit 100 once, and I think he had an immaculate inning too. That was the highest upside player that I saw in that in terms of the overall arsenal. Him touching close to 100 miles an hour. If he's converted into a pen roll, he's going to be an elite closer. Like this stuff is already there. I mean, the fact that he's their 14th ranked prospect is pretty insane, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Giants system gets not talked about enough just because, I mean, other than maybe like the Devers trade, like a lot of people were kind of looking at their top prospects, but a lot of pitching guys, a lot of right-handers, which is nice to see. And I've heard some of them have pretty good stuff from some of the people that I've talked to. But in terms of like the top 10 guys, there's a lot of high upside players and a lot of high upside outfielders as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, even arms too. Like Trent Harris is a guy that I really like in terms of stuff. Near 60 grades across the board on his pitch mix. D2 alum as well. Played 3 years D1 and then transferred to UNC Pembroke. So shout out Trent Harris. He's got great stuff. A lot of guys from their draft class, like really interesting farm, but I'd say, again, very top heavy. Let's move it down. Cards. We talked about JJ Weatherholt quite a bit.
Dude, thank God he's in the top 10 after the last update.
Yeah, seriously. A 1-2 combo of JJ Weatherholt and Liam Doyle. I like that a lot.
I like it. I mean, what's Liam Doyle's fastball grade on this? 75. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, it's 70. It's 75 grade. Other than
Kate Anderson's now.
Yeah, check Kate Anderson.
60.
See,
We kind
I
of
was
knew
gonna
that.
say when we were talking about the guy for the Guardians that hasn't pitched in a few years, and he had the 80 grade. The only other guy that I could have thought of that would be around that in terms of prospect would be Liam Doyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodriguez, I've heard a lot about. I mean, Quinn Matthews. I think Quinn Matthews is still going to be a solid development. Jimmy Crooks has been really under the radar in terms of what he's done in AAA.
And he was really solid in spring training from what I saw like in person. I don't know if his stats the entire time were that good, but he put together great at bats every game I saw.
And then Jesus Baez was in the trade for Helsley, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, he's obviously a highly regarded prospect too. Tink Hence at 12. I love that. Chen-Wei Lin too. Dude. I know it hasn't been kind of the best this year. I mean, granted, honestly, yeah, 10 games hasn't been the best. Dude, 2024, I saw him get talked about a lot. 116 innings, 123 Ks, opponent average of 204 with a 2.79 ERA. That's rolling, into your number 16 spot. Blaze Jordan, oh my God. This was one of my favorite gets at the entire deadline just because of the pure raw power output that he can produce. And he's been really solid this year in AAA. Chase Davis, I know, was really highly regarded like a year ago as well. I don't know if he was a first round pick, but he was highly regarded a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, the top guys in the system I really like. I mean, you have Doyle, you have Weatherholt, Rodriguez has been underrated. Quinn Matthews, we know what you're kind of getting. You have Crooks. And you have a guy like Tink Hence just kind of chilling there at 12, and we know what he can possess.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you still have Prospect Savant loaded up on your computer, I want you to look up someone else's profile for me. Their 24th prospect, Daniel Ortiz. If you thought Plaza's profile was good, just wait until you see this one, because I think this kid has a way higher ceiling. I think this will be one of the top prospects in the Cardinals organization in the near future. Ortiz, I'm probably going to do a thread on either tomorrow or some point because you heard Ethan's reaction. Like, his profile is good.
Yeah, and I mean,
Nate,
we talked about Jordan. I mean, dude, that was I absolutely love that, and I feel like a lot of people when that happened were like, oh, like Blaze Jordan. You think of the 16-year-old that was hitting 500-foot home runs at Arlington, just incredible. But if you look at the development he's made, and I know he went through some mental health stuff, so he's just been better mentally as well. That's super important that no one talks about. He's just been balling. I loved getting him. And I mean, dude, back to Ortiz, the whiff rates are slightly concerning. He's hammering fastballs, 287 XBA, sinker, almost approaching a 300 XBA with a whiff rate under 22%. That's fantastic. 146 WRC plus, almost a walk rate of approaching 14.5%. I mean, yeah, I like this, and honestly, I'm excited to read your deep dive tomorrow because this is someone that I haven't really heard of too much.
Dude, I mean, like, he's just really good, and I mean, the power that he shows, the fact that he pulls the ball in the air a lot already. I mean, I love a lot of what I see from Daniel Ortiz right now.
His zone, I mean, other than up in the zone, like his zone charts are really good. Like zones 5 and 6 are above 400 clip. Down, oh my, Toby, you're gonna like this tomorrow, dude. Down in the zone, he is disgusting. 500 XBA in zone 8, 480 in zone 7. Holy shit! Yeah, I mean, that's solid.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff to him, man. And I noticed it a little before the update to the top 30s. He wasn't on the top 30s a couple weeks ago. Now he is.
Really?
So yeah, so I feel a little bit better about kind of gassing him up more as a guy who could rise more because he's currently doing that with the production and the profile that he's put out this year. He's out of low A, so we won't see advanced numbers from him, or no, we won't see like StatCast numbers and percentile rankings from him again until he gets up to AAA. So I'm intrigued to see how he does in Double A. I think that is going to be a very, very interesting 2026 year for him. And we get down to your guys here, the Tampa Bay Rays. We're getting to the end here, man. After this, we only got 3 more.
Yeah, and
We've been
also,
live for.
thank you guys for. I mean, there's over 1,000 people in here, which is,
I full
incredible.
screened my computer, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
Seriously,
I mean, thank you guys. This is awesome.
We did,
We cover the
unfortunately.
Cubs. We did cover the
We
Cubs.
did that probably like an hour and 30 minutes ago. If when this pod ends, you could probably rewind it to like the first 20 minutes, 30.
Yeah,
minutes.
Nate, they were our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were our 16 that we covered. We have the Rays, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, and the Nationals to cover. I don't want to go. I mean, I'll say I don't want to go too in depth with the Rays because I could.
If you don't want to, I will.
I mean, we can. I mean, it would be a while. I mean, you start off with Carson Williams. Trust me, I get the concerns. The whiff rates, the K rates, the fact that he does damage on pretty much offerings in zones 5 and 8, which are pretty much like middle, and middle down. The power is still insane. He's one of the most elite defenders you'll see in MILB. So I still like the upside. And if you go and look at his home and away splits, you can go look at Carson. You just type in Carson on my page. You can see how drastic the home and away splits are. Theo Gillen at number 2. Absolutely love it. Insanely high walk rate. I had the chance to talk to him a little bit after the spring breakout game. Extremely nice kid. You could argue is probably the best pure hitting prospect in the race system right now. Brody Hopkins stuff just stands out. Insanely nasty. Slider, breaking ball, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you could look up clips of literally lefties swinging and missing, and the ball is hitting their back foot. Love the Daniel Pierce pick. I think he's going to be a solid development. He was one of the highest regarded high school prospects. Xavier Isaac, the power output is still there, but kind of struggling. Aiden Smith was in the Randy trade. Trey Morgan, I think, is MLB ready. Brendan Summerhill, double in his, I think his first or second AB with the River Dogs. So that was great to see. Braylor Guerrero at number 9, I think, is insane. When Braylor gets healthy, this kid is going to be unbelievable. I mean, he was posting EVs of over 110 miles an hour at 17 years old. I don't want to get into everyone because we'll be here for a while.
No, we will. I'm at least going to say the guys that I really, really like from the system that we haven't really. I'm not going to go into them, but I'm just going to list off how many guys you have that I really like. Dean Moss at 14. Cooper Fleming, Cooper Kinney, Colton Ledbetter, all guys in the past that I've seen some good stuff out of. Jackson Baumeister, I still like him a lot. Yaniel Curé has been getting a lot of buzz this year for great reasons too. Homer Bush has been doing really good lately, hasn't he?
Southern Player of the Week. Shout
Emerson
out.
Pereira, Braden Taylor, I know has been struggling lately, but Tytine Gray to add him into your system as well. Emilian Petrie at the back end at 30. James Quinn Irons isn't even on here. And I know that I'm higher on him than most people. I think he's going to be on here for sure at some point. So the Rays, man, they've got a deep system, and I expect nothing less from them. Rangers are interesting. Sebastian Walcott remains the number 1, but their first round pick from this past season or this past draft is now their number 2 in Gavin Feehan. Other than that, I mean, they've had a bunch of call-ups. They've had trades that they've done where they've had to get rid of prospects like Mitch Bratt, who I already mentioned. The org's not as deep anymore. Their first rounder from last year, Malcolm Moore, is their 11th overall prospect. Teodo's an interesting guy. Dylan Dreiling's an interesting guy. But honestly, dude, I'm really underwhelmed by this top 30.
I don't really have anything to say on the Rangers. I think Walcott's super advanced for 19, huge frame, 6'4", and Gavin Feehan I think will be one of the best picks in the draft. There were some boards where he was a top 5 pick.
I don't know why he hasn't picked yet, but 80 grade name, Isaac Tiger with a Z. He had a 2.93 ERA in 2024. So, I mean, I am certainly.
Wow, that's a 90 grade name right there. Holy shit.
90 grade name.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we can honestly just move on to the Blue Jays because I really don't have too much on the Rangers. But Trey Savage, we already talked about him. We talked about JoJo Parker and Arjun Nimala. So we can kind of just work our way a little bit more down the board here. Ricky Tiedemann, I don't know if this is a guy that you have any faith in making a successful big league career.
I will be a Ricky Tiedemann believer until the day I die, bro.
That's good because I also will be as well. I I will take a 65 grade fastball changeup combo any day of the week. And if he can stay healthy, man, I think there's still a shot that he really puts it together for the Blue Jays.
One guy, and I had the pleasure of watching him a few times when he was pitching in Fort Myers. Johnny King is a guy that you need to be fucking watching, bro. He is insane. I mean, granted, it's A ball. He's 19 years old. In 47 innings, he has, in 47 innings, hear me, 47, he has 85 strikeouts, an opponent batting average of $1.90. He has a 1.72 ERA. He was a consensus top guy when he was in high school. We're seeing the development right now in Dunedin with the Blue Jays. I absolutely love him. I know Jake Bloss, another guy a lot of people rave about. Jake Cook as well. Do you have anyone towards like the back end that you really like?
Let me take a look. I honestly like the stuff that Brandon Barrea has. Very intrigued upon that. And I mean, honestly, dude, I'm way more just enamored with the top end of this top 30. I still really like Aurelvis Martinez. I still do. I don't know how he's doing
Yet.
Yeah, not doing good this year. RJ Schreck's really good. It's got to come back down to earth a little bit. But if coming back down to earth still means you're OPSing near 900, I'm totally fine with that. He has 14 homers and 8 stolen bases on the year. And then lastly, I just want to shout out Yohendrick Pinango, who I did highlight in a thread earlier this week. If you guys want to learn more about him, go check that out on my Twitter. Also on my Substack, I did a full-length article about him. But now we got the Nationals, man. And this is honestly a really good one to end it off on because they have a new top prospect. They had the first overall pick this year. They elected to go with Eli Willits, and he's now their new top prospect. Has a 2029 ETA. He's currently just 17 years old. Ethan, I don't really have an issue with this at all. He's their switch hitter. 60 grade hit tool, 60 grade speed. He's a 60 grade prospect.
No, I mean, I mean, countless times said like right before the draft, I would not be surprised if Eli Willits won one. I mean, I know it shocks some people, but I don't think too much. I like some of the guys like even in the middle range. If we're being like completely
from top to bottom, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I love so much of this, like just so much from Sakura to Susana to Clemmy and Harmon.
You go Simon Jr., who was throwing 100 in high school.
Him, Seaver King, Ethan Petrie, Coy James. Coy James being in the top 10, I was really surprised about as a fifth round pick. Robert Hassel there at 13. Caleb Lomavita is still a solid catching prospect there at 12. Said C-May already, so that's a good.
Is Elijah Green even on here?
Dude, he's lucky if he even has like a spot in a starting lineup anymore.
I will say though, he went back down to rookie league and he fixed his swing. And I think the results were a little bit better after that.
He fixed them against like 17-year-olds though.
But still, I mean, like, look at Colson Montgomery before he fixed his swing. He was terrible in AAA.
He was also like a top 10 prospect though.
Yeah, I get so. I don't know. I'll always have a soft spot for him. I mean, I wasn't super high on him because the swing, there were clearly holes in it, especially against Velo. And I mean, there were because he had to go back down. But I mean, that's a guy that some people still really like, and he's not even a top 30 guy. But I mean, yeah, to your point, I think all around the system is very solid.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, my favorite two guys at the back end of this top 30, Yo-Yo Morales and Sam Peterson, both are at two different planes of the minor leagues, but Sam Peterson in high A, as of late, has been doing so good, and he's hitting 310 on the year between 3 levels. Then you go over to Morales, OPSing just south of 800, but, I mean, he's making his way through the system. He's already up in AAA Rochester, so he had nothing left to prove in AA ball. I think next year, all in Rochester, he'll make his climb for the big league ladder there. We'll get to the top of that next year, I think. But Ethan, anybody else, or are we at the end of it here?
I think we're good. Honestly, I like that we wrapped up with the Nationals.
I agree.
The only thing I definitely want to look in after we're done recording, I want to look into the Giants number 2 guy because like that Gonzalez is a guy that now, after seeing the profile, he walks more than he strikeouts. That's a guy that it's like, wow, like I might kind of have to look into him after this.
Oh, for sure, dude. Absolutely. But I think me and you both got a good amount of homework here for some guys that we maybe just want to brush up on or learn more about. That's why we do these types of prospect episodes. But we appreciate the over 1,100 people tuning in for a prospect show that we did not announce beforehand. The support has been just unbelievable on both ends, not only Inside the Diamond, but both of our own individual accounts as well. We've massed over 600 followers on Inside the Diamond, so appreciate all of
Thank you guys for that,
who have come in and have just been supporting us from the jump. So that's all I really got. Ethan, you got anything else? Or
I mean, not really. I mean, just go look at the Dodgers farm system when you have a chance.
Well said. I don't think I could have said it better myself, but we'll be live sometime here in the future. I'm not sure if we'll be live again until like Sunday or Monday, but that'll probably be the likely next time that we do go live. So, I mean, enjoy the rest of your weekend or the start of your weekend, and we'll see you all here on Inside the Diamond when we see you all next. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you all next time.